Dragons do go on. Huh?
Dragons do.
Dragons do go on.
Go on.
Shout out to Do Go On.
Please, go on.
Notice how everyone stopped when you tried to make a pun.
No, he's looking at me. It's like, hi everyone. Let's get it started.
Hello.
Greetings, everybody.
Oh boy.
And welcome to Maxed and Doubled, episode 24.
No
Oh my
accent for
god,
you.
it's been 20.
I'm sorry, I got into it, okay? I was happy with it.
It's been
I was
24
really enjoying
episodes.
that.
Can I just it's been 24 episodes of Max and Doubled, but how many episodes has it been since we started the streaming? That's what I wanna know.
We did 17 episodes of Gemprek plus how many
Whatever.
episodes of Cosmos?
10.
5, 10
Oh,
plus a few one shots each. So
That's
somewhere in the realm
50 something?
somewhere in the realm of 50.
To 60, yeah, roughly. That's
If you're a true
not
fan,
bad.
you'll have watched them all by
Every single one, including the ones on my personal channel.
now. Yeah, watch him write a book.
No, not those ones. Don't go back to those ones. Don't worry about my YouTube.
They do exist.
And
Because
they're
such long hair.
they're very steamy.
Laugh
so-
now, but just you
Don't
wait.
you dare! Don't you dare!
Oscar, you lost control of the show.
I never had control of the show. It's been 50
You know, I have
episodes
that
and I haven't had
actually,
control of this show.
You know that I actually have that quoted perfectly
we know.
from where I
Please.
got it from in a picture on my email. somewhere.
Subscribe and
Look,
you'll get
Skype
one
has betrayed
chapter.
me one too many times.
It's going to be our $50 Patreon goal, isn't it?
I was just saying, subscribe and we'll send you a chapter.
I had one person on Skype one time,
Chapter per subscription.
and it's like, here, have this embarrassing moment from 15 years ago. I was
Just
15
by the
years
way,
old at time.
he means me.
Yeah.
He added me.
Yeah.
on
But here's
Skype.
the thing.
15 years ago for you was 8.
Yeah, I
Did you add Hannah on Skype when you were 8?
know.
No, he added me.
Was it Skype
No,
already?
He
no,
added me
the
like
moment
4
was
years
from
ago, but he never changed the status, and so it's this really cheesy,
on
corny, ridiculously
They
emo
don't make
thing.
it fucking obvious on Skype. So this thing that I'd done when I was a fucking shitty
Tweeting.
teenager,
Yeah.
12-year-old teenager. Exactly, I'm digging my grave even more. But this shitty little status that I made on Skype, sitting under my name the whole time, I didn't realize that it was there. And so
Until
I
I
added
told
Hannah, and she immediately sees it, and I'm like,
See, this is the issue.
this is me 5 years
You
ago.
have a best friend that's not as old as us. He already knows all my embarrassing shit.
Well,
He's been there.
she knows my embarrassing
I
shit.
don't watch your shit. That'd be just too embarrassing for you.
These two have gotten to
Like,
the point
this
where they leave the door open when they shit.
No.
You know, my friend,
We
my
don't even
dog
exist in the
literally
same
climbs
suburb.
into his underwear when he takes a shit. And I'm like, why don't you just shut the door and not let your dog climb into your underwear while you're taking a shit?
Why are we talking about
And
this?
thanks for
I
watching. Now I'm assuming you've already left. Let's start.
Okay, now that the new people are gone.
You're not here next week, right? Or you are?
What's tomorrow?
What's tomorrow?
Tomorrow's-
Tomorrow's Sunday. I almost said Friday. That would have been
Yeah,
nice.
but yeah. I'm the one with the shift work. I should not know that. Next, I should. Maybe.
Josh won't be here in 2 weeks, guys.
No,
I
will.
have no idea.
I will be.
However it works. Previously
I will.
on Maxed and Doubled,
Dun, dun, dun.
the Calamity Hunters.
Hey, that's you guys.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're
I'm honorary. Haven't
Made
decided.
their way off
Get
the island
hunted
of
as well.
Scow, stopping over another island on the way, but
be
eventually ending up coming into Port Dekar in Thrakrathon. As you approached, you noticed it was a blinding white looking at the coastline, which for a moment John almost thought was normal, being used to the whitewashed Thrakrathon buildings to keep off the heat of the desert. But as you approached, it became apparent that this wasn't just white stucco, it was
Dandruff.
ice. You got a little bit closer and suddenly the ocean around the ship started to ice up and trap the ship, and in the panic you all looked out ahead and saw one lone figure standing on top of the ice in the middle of the ocean riding a horse before it vanished, leaving you trapped a few hundred feet out from the coastline in foot deep ice with no real way of getting the ship out. With some creativity Varamas and John work together to free the ship, eventually breaking free and circumventing the ice, docking at Port Dekar to see its complete coverage of smooth, very chilly ice in a desert town.
Just want to point out, because someone actually paid attention to the stream, Silkus was there as well.
Silkus was there.
Silkus did
Oh,
play an
Silkus
important
did also
role.
help.
Yeah.
Yes, never mind.
Probably more important than John.
You keep
It was, though, it was him piloting, so that's where you get the confusion. So that's fair.
Silkus was there doing good things.
It's good, because I was not thinking of that at all. So,
Because Silkus was on autopilot.
Silkus was on autopilot.
yeah.
He's very chipper and happy and helpful when he's on autopilot.
You made your way-
Autopilot cares a lot about battle positioning for some reason.
Yeah.
Me and Silkus don't fight as much when he's on autopilot. Has anybody else noticed?
It's
No.
because Silkus doesn't say much.
Yep.
Might be it.
Might be. You're
Doesn't
making your
correct
way
you.
out from the docks themselves and through a couple back alleys before finding the only sign of life that you'd seen so far in Port Dekar, which was a young half-orc man trapped in
we get
his
his name?
home by the ice that had frozen over around his house. Not necessarily trapped, but trapped by fear. And you knocked on his door. Fearfully, he answered and eventually let you in to discuss the events. You discovered that this creature, this horseman, had ridden through around the dock areas and frozen the whole place over, leaving many people trapped. And he advised you to leave before finding out that you were in pursuit of one of these horsemen. He then
He said to
hopefully...
check the northern side of the city.
He then, with a large amount of hopefulness in his voice, asked if you were going to go after this creature. You implicated that you might, and he directed you towards the northern side of Port Dekar, where he figured the ice would not have affected since the horseman had rode only along the shoreline. Now, as he shuts the door behind you, you start to skid your way along the ice on the streets towards the northern side of Port Dekar.
I mean, I don't know about them, but I have spider climb boots. I ain't
That's
skidding anyway.
true, although I don't think they work on slippery surfaces.
I'm fine.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
check.
I'm fine.
I have something in case you fall.
As you start to move that direction, the ice becomes less and less prominent. The ground starts
Damn
to
it! It
poke
does
through.
say as such as one covered by ice and oil. Fuck.
Yeah, so you're still slipping around.
It's like he thought ahead.
You head further into town, away from the docks. The ice becomes less apparent as the ground starts to poke through. You start to get some more traction. And you do discover that, indeed, as was suggested, only the shorefront specifically was affected by the ice. The displaced people from the attack have mostly moved into these new areas now, and the town is overcrowded as you start to move this way with people seeking refuge. As you walk further into the centre, you can hear shouting over the commotion of the crowd. It sounds like someone attempting to control the mob. Entering finally the town square, you can see up on a raised platform in the centre a slender orc in bright, shining, cream-coloured armour, standing exasperated, gesticulating, trying to raise his voice above the commotion. The majority of the crowd seem to ignore it, but you can hear his words travelling over to you. Who here speaks Orcish? 1, 2.
It's just us two.
Yeah. You two.
No.
You two.
It's still my own other thing. First the accent.
You two in Orcish pick up on, "Citizens, please, may we have order in the square? The threat is past. We must make a concerted recovery. Citizens!" And no one seems to be paying much attention. A couple people are standing around at the bottom, and he has some guards around him. But after a short while of shouting, he seems to spot you all walking into the square.
Oh, boy.
He halts mid-sentence in his fruitless bellowing and steps down to ground level, disappearing for a moment into the mass of bodies before emerging beside you. He starts to speak, but most of you only catch a familiar word or two. John, in Bannerelli, you hear.
Really?
Oh, here we go.
Lower Anket Opeted Dekar Wernag.
Yeah. Didn't realize it was going to be on the test.
Toele se awe so senapue sine toe soingu.
We need subtitles.
E ante le suke se moe one. He kind of sees your
On
blank
way.
expressions,
Thinks
completely
that direction.
not understanding. And then in Orcish says,
Thank God.
Me
any of you
and
speak
Glenn are just sitting here like, cool.
Orcish?
I reply in Orcish. I do.
Common would... Orcish we know some of, but Common would be better if you know it.
Better for all of us.
I'm not fluent in Common, but I can try.
We can translate if necessary.
Orcish will do it. Yeah.
He starts to speak, attempting Common,
I'll translate if necessary.
attempting to speak Common, and says, Lieutenant Anket of the Dekar Weramag. Travelers, you have chosen a poor time to join us. I suggest you move on.
I think he says we should move on. In case.
What did you say his name was?
Understand?
Lieutenant Anket.
accent?
Ankit.
Yeah.
That's not good.
I feel like there has an H in it somewhere because she liked to fuck with me with spelling.
A-N-K-H-E-T.
Fucking knew it.
It's just the word Ankh with an E-T on the end.
It's
Unkeg.
the word unkeg, but
Or
spelled
Unkeg, yes.
because everyone's more familiar with all the spellings of the D&D monsters, right?
Yeah.
Can I try and say in like Elvish? Anyone else think his name sounds very much like Ankig?
You know, I was thinking that. I reply in
He
Elvish.
raises his eyebrow at you when he hears the word Unkeg, but doesn't seem to understand the rest of the sentence.
So just get. He was saying that we should leave because of. So what was that you were saying again? Sorry.
He specifically said, Lieutenant Ankeg of the Dekar Weramag, thank the travelers, you have chosen a poor time to join us. I suggest you leave.
Replying Orcish.
I suggest you move on.
Replying Orcish. What seemed to have happened here?
Yes.
Did you not see?
We intend to move on, but we would like to get some information about the rider who passed through, as we are chasing one of his kin.
Chasing him.
Well, we are going to a place where we suspect one of his kin will be.
Je suis Calamity Hunters.
Give you a blank stare. He does not speak Ken.
We are known.
He does not speak Elvish.
That's Orcish. Orcs are French.
Aha.
Replying Orcish is like, I would have been chasing these riders for some time, so we have a bit of experience with them. So if you have any information, it would be much appreciated. In Orcish, which sounds really
You're
weird with my
telling me
accent.
there are more than one.
Well,
There's
there's
probably
possible.
only 3, and
No.
they're the last one that we saw was in another continent, so you probably won't see another one soon, hopefully, but
Either way, we're here to
Yes.
take care of the problem.
Well, we don't know where it went. I'm sure you can follow the trail. It's pretty obvious if you hadn't noticed.
Yeah,
yes, you can say that again.
Meanwhile, you guys have no idea what we're saying.
While you two,
I'll translate later.
I'll like pause to be like, okay, so yeah, he's just like, what? There's more than one of them? Yeah.
And he really liked your accent.
There's
You
two
look like
flies now.
Talking to you about
There was one
the
before the
walls,
stream, and now there's two.
Fucking Australia, man.
I just say to them,
Do you want me to send my dog over to take him for
the
you?
try of the English language. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, no, I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure what I was speaking
Listen to the
was
one
an
that,
Orcish.
oh no, I 100% think it was. I
So
think you should try more.
You said you were chasing one of this thing's allies.
yes,
May I ask where you were headed before you got here?
Notes. Fuck, I can't read my writing.
Grodalia.
No one can.
Wait,
To Grodalia.
Grodalia.
assuming that I haven't mixed up the cities.
There's
You have
always a-
some.
Wait, we have the cities.
You have some overland travel
We don't.
to make.
We certainly do.
How did you intend to get there?
We were hoping to hire some horses as we passed through.
Even by horse, Grodalia is several weeks from here.
Perhaps the teleportation network,
Do you have
if
anything?
it is still up, or if there is one.
There is, but we can't just send you through. I would be willing to vouch for you if maybe you helped with the cleanup efforts around town, or even dealt with this creature itself.
That I'm sure they'll be
It
able
would
to
save you
help out with
several
that.
weeks of travel time and would certainly help us out a lot.
So-
As you can see, there's a rowdy mass of citizens.
Yes.
That-
Okay.
That
Hey
sounds...
DM,
Yes.
when we looked at the horseman, did he look to be way overpowered or kind of on the level with us?
On a scale from 1 to 30, he was about you don't know. He was a couple hundred feet from you, to be quite honest. So
Yeah, but did he look all like,
Okay.
you know, when you're
he
going up
wasn't
on a
40
fight?
feet tall.
Look, when you approach something in a video game that's well overpowered, there's a skull above its head. Did this guy have a skull above his head or not?
I will note
Well, you
that
weren't able to right click on him, so you didn't
Okay.
quite get his name to come up.
I will note that while he didn't have a skull above his head, he did have a pretty big ice aura, which none of us have.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, to be
do
fair,
not
I'm
currently
pretty
have
sure
an
we have
ice
some
aura.
fire stuff.
I mean, ice is my element. So.
I'm two at the moment.
Actually, yeah, I have
I'm a
I
winter
have
ledger.
I thought
frostbite.
you went back to
so-
spring.
No,
Where you went, Winter?
I went
Ah,
winter
okay.
because
It's
very
not-
cold.
I mean, I don't know about cleanup because I don't have anything that would melt the ice.
I think it's more or less just being to try
I-
and help anyone around here.
Well,
We
all I
would
can do is
settle
create
the
more ice.
quarries.
Yes,
So-
we would be happy to help.
The Weremark have some particular tasks that need to be completed. Clearing the ice from the streets is just the start. We also need to search for survivors within the affected areas. Repair the damaged infrastructure, of which there is a lot, including one of the main wharfs. And of course, dispatching of the creature if it comes back.
Well, sorry, do you say that any civilians that are currently lost, you said, sorry? Is that what you said?
Searching for
Search and
survivors.
rescue,
Well,
yes.
I can
We
be
know
able to
where
help with
one
that.
is.
That shouldn't be a problem.
We know where one is.
Well, yes, I
And I want
suppose...
give directions
Yeah.
back to the house of the half orc that we.
Well,
Yeah,
I
we would be
shouldn't
happy
have...
to have... Although I do
Okay.
believe he'll probably be okay. He was able to open his door, but yes, we would be quite happy to help.
Please come in.
Given for the just for the purposes of planning our journey, where can your vouching get us to? Will that be
I
able
can
to...
send a representative to Grodalia to request access on our behalf. I cannot guarantee entry, but it's more likely that way than simply sending you over or you getting access on your own by riding there.
And if
Much appreciated.
very much, if it does come to needing to mention name, may I have yours?
Lieutenant Anket.
Yes.
Okay.
You already
I
said
actually written it down.
Alright.
Oh no, you haven't. You should write it down.
I was distracted by flies.
Yeah.
And you.
it. Do you not remember us talking about ankegs and how it sounded like anket?
DM question.
No.
Yes.
Well, we did.
The wording of shape water
How do you even word that? Spell
includes
that.
you freeze the water,
Well, lieutenant,
provided there are no creatures in it.
and then
Does this
That's
ANK
implied.
does this imply
A-N-K.
I could
K
melt,
HET.
H.
or
Can we look at that?
will the
Cool. There you go.
crystalline structure of the ice provide you with a totally plausible DM bullshit out of this?
Sometimes you just gotta say no, man.
I will actually murder Desmond.
You've tried 3 times and succeeded twice.
I will actually not.
It doesn't say you
resurrect.
can unfreeze
Desmond.
it intentionally.
But I want to though.
I know.
Only want could equal like payment always. I want money right now. Pay, please.
Is this what you do on payday at work?
Yeah.
I want money now.
Walk
Pay,
up to the
please.
door.
I have an
Hi,
idea,
money, please.
but I have an idea of something that we could do, but also it's like It's like a smart person idea. So let me just roll an intelligence check.
I'm
I
curious.
love that this
Please
is a thing.
do. Oh!
Yeah, that was a 6. So John didn't think of that.
What was it?
I mean, if you roll a good intelligence check, I'll tell you.
Sure.
Oh damn! I didn't
better.
get my dice out because I'm a horrible
15.
person.
15.
Oh yeah, if you spread black stuff on the ice, it'll melt like 10 times faster.
What's black stuff?
Any black stuff. It absorbs heat from the sun way better.
I'm gonna.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Wow, I did not know that.
That's why most cars are white.
Or Silkers did though. So, do we have anything like soot or
If
anything?
only we
could,
had somebody who knew prestidigitation and could turn the ice black.
I mean,
I'm
he
not
would,
sure it would
he would
quite
actually
work that way.
also be
That's
able
not
to
actually how
melt
it works. We need something like let's see what I can find. Do I have?
Have you
anything?
got grease?
Hold on. I got stuff.
Someone
Wait,
taking
hold on.
grease.
Like
Uh,
charcoal,
Yeah.
charcoal powder or something.
Yeah. There's houses around there. I'm sure we can get. I can start on.
I'm sure some of those are burnt down.
I can some that actually have chimneys.
Well,
in
they
them.
had
we can
fire pits,
talk
right?
to them and use the soot from the chimney to start spraying around
Fire
the, around the
pits.
ice. Or you guys, I could just do dragon's breath and use fire and just slowly melt the ice.
Unless
Yeah, but then you might burn the houses.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. I remember that from the live stream last time.
Um,
Acid then. Acid works. Lightning.
I'll be happy to let
Lightning's
these
very hot.
magic types try and work on solving the ice problem, and we could work on search and rescue.
Sounds good.
I'll actually be able to help out with that actually.
Well,
I guess I'll just melt the ice by myself then.
No, you're
I guess
you're
I'll
a
just
magic
melt the
type.
ice
You've
by
got to help
myself
him.
then.
Sorry?
You're magic. You help him.
I have detect thoughts. I can detect if anyone's undercover
Yeah, but-
rebel.
Well,
Is
you-
John
you can only do
capable
one
walking
of those
door
two
to
things
door
at a
and knocking
time.
on doors?
that's what I was saying.
Would you be able to do it? Actually, no. Probably self would probably be best with you guys. All right.
What do you want her for?
I was going to use her for the dragon breath so she can get into areas to.
You really want to keep my wolf without me? Silkus, who is afraid of wolves, wants to have
Also,
a...
you
That's a
could
good point.
you could request one of the other people who is helping with the efforts and use dragon breath on them.
He's still
or
my accent.
indeed,
His accent. I'm not
One
giving
of
my
our
joke,
friends.
Big metal,
Friends.
Big metal wolf with dragon's breath.
though. Metal and ice temperatures though.
Yeah, it's fine. I can still move my
He's
fingers.
still
It's fine.
blooded.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
He's still
I
warm-blooded
would
under it.
argue that humans and ice temperatures is a more dangerous combination.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm
Okay, split. Let's
To be
do
fair-
whatever
Humans
short
to be
can
course
fair-
freeze
we're
in
doing.
summer.
As you're standing here, it's pretty hot. You're in direct sunlight,
Oh, I'm thinking overcast. Okay.
and the sun is fucking hot. Like, it is
Perfect.
probably mid to high 30s
And I
Celsius.
still have heat stroke.
Aw.
No, I treated
forgot
your heat
about
stroke. You're fine.
Everyone did, including me actually.
So you're all, especially the ones who are used to the Dalendar's climate, you're all pretty sweaty right now.
I'm fine.
I don't sweat. I'm a lady.
Uh-huh.
I glisten.
You're
As
glistening.
as does an elf.
Is the ice below us, like, is it slick? Is it showing signs of starting to melt?
You've got none below you currently.
Oh, okay,
You're
right,
out of the
yeah,
area now.
Yeah.
As you moved through it, you didn't see any signs of
Okay.
melting.
If
Yeah.
I cast heat metal
Oh,
at a third level,
on
can
himself.
I just have it last longer instead of it, like, doing more damage?
Can he also
Yeah.
put it on
How
himself?
long can I have it last for?
So how long does it last for normally?
A minute.
It's 1 minute.
Yeah. It's the second,
How-
it's
what's-
the
what's-
second level spell.
What's its base damage?
2d8,
How much does it do at level 3?
3d8.
You can have it last for 2 minutes.
Oh,
But can he cast it on himself when he's in metal form?
that was my next question.
I don't see why not.
Well, he can't cast spells when he's beast shape. But anyway,
I can
you can.
if I'm in my symbiotic entity. I can still cast spells.
Yes, right. A symbiotic entity. That does not sound like something for metal, but go on.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
You literally
Anyways,
reskinned.
so John and I are gonna go look for survivors.
Yep.
If there's that.
And it's bullshit. I'm not spending a
So-
third level.
It's meant to be in combat, to be fair.
Using keen
This
hearing
whole
and my
time,
wolf's
Uncat,
hearing.
Uncat got very bored of this whole
That's-
conversation a
that's
while
fine.
ago, and he's still next to you, but he's being like directing citizens
No,
around.
that's fine.
Any areas we should focus on in search and rescue? Just the whole ice place, really.
All over there.
The main wharf was particularly populated at the time. I'd suggest starting there.
Thank you. We'll head out.
We'll make do with our ice
Pass it on.
situation. We'll do what we can. Get back to you as soon as possible.
So
Thank you.
can I just ask one question about where we're going?
Yes.
Is that downhill?
Yeah,
yes.
mostly. Yeah. It's not
Right.
very
So
far
I'm going
downhill.
to I'm going to walk up to a guard and ask to borrow his shield.
Oh no. Heat metal. Flying down the ice.
Nah.
He refuses.
Avalanche.
No, I'm going to do it
Nicholas.
really I'm going to
Also,
try to persuade him to give me his shield.
Roll
No,
persuasion
no,
check.
noting
Don't say that. He hates
noting
persuasion
your
rolls.
languages.
Yeah, they're probably
Persuasion.
mostly orc here.
17.
17. In what language are you speaking in?
I'm not. I'm gesturing.
Yeah.
Like, shield, me, give.
Oh god.
He flat out refuses.
I'm going to ask the lieutenant to let me have his shield.
Sorry.
Am I there? No.
Let's
you're
just
We'll
let's
say
just
Do you
try
have
it.
the shield?
let's just
Lieutenant
walk
is
there.
not carrying a shield.
Sorry, let's
This
just
splits
walk
inside.
there.
Are there,
I
wait,
I
wait,
don't
wait.
think-
away from
Are
this.
there any, like,
What?
What they're doing.
Oh.
something I could use like a toboggan?
It's not very much. It's not a very steep decline, to be quite
But
honest.
is it,
Yes, you are.
it's ice,
you
it's
you
slippery,
might
it's fine.
slide,
What if-
maybe.
It's the fun part. Can I try?
But don't you need a long rest to do that?
I'm sure you could find something.
Yeah.
Cool. Wicked. I'm going to do
You
that,
do
and then
have
I'm
them
going to go
downstairs.
sliding down towards
What,
the
what,
map.
what are you looking for? I know what you're
Like-
looking for, but are you getting? Your shield is a lost cause.
I don't know. Is there like a broken door or window shutter that I could fit on?
There are some window shutters and doors, but most of them are not broken.
Can I subtly break one?
So,
If you would like to, make, for starters, make a stealth check.
I feel like.
Sorry for anyone listening.
Hold on. Let me just.
18.
At
Oh,
this
you got
point,
it.
I'm probably kind of paying attention.
I want to point out that
So
Vanos and I have left.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Thank
18.
God. I don't want to be there for this.
Roll
Oh,
strength check.
what about a rubbish bin lid? Are there
So-
rubbish bin lids?
No.
is
It's a
given that I am like
it's a
kind
village.
of paying attention, is Sariel being stealthy enough for me to not notice?
Roll a perception check with advantage because you know
Okay.
you're following her movements.
So. Should I use the one I just rolled thinking about it or as one of them?
No, reroll.
Okay. Okay. 15.
15. No.
Okay.
So,
I'm
she
like-
ducks around a corner and is gone for a short while.
Yeah.
What did you roll on your strength check?
I didn't roll one. Hang on.
I may not have finished
Oh.
asking you for it.
I don't get one. I walk back defeated
Oh.
You
and start trudging down.
you find a good looking door. You start to tug on it, and the hinges are real strong.
And you open it, and there's a Kate Blanchett clinging to the side of it.
As it partly swings open, there's an orcish lady just standing there looking out at you. Now angrily.
Hi.
She screams at you in orcish and then starts coming at you brandishing
Shit.
a large pan.
I'm going to run back down the street, grab John by the arm, and run into the ice.
I am running
Into
but,
the
like,
ice. Just dives
What?
in.
What did you do?
I tried to take a door and there was an orc
Meanwhile-
behind it. We need to go now.
Oh my goodness, why?
Meanwhile, I'm going to-
I am running along the ice at this point, but I'm still just like...
I picture
You
like,
two roll dexterity saving throws for me. And while you do that,
God. I
You
picture halfway through our
For
thing,
ice
I picture
items.
we see that at some point. But until
Oh,
then,
I'm just going to ignore
You
that.
see it
Yeah.
pretty soon. It happens pretty quickly.
Okay,
I'm casting shape water. I'm trying to agitate anything that might be under the ice and
I'm going to
like,
talk to.
moving around the water a bunch to create friction to heat up
Okay.
the ice.
I'm going to talk to a few guards. Mention the idea of the using black soot over the ice for extra heating, for extra heat, so we can melt. And then I'm going to grab. I'm going to then cast. I'm going to try and find some areas that are not surrounded by wood for the most part. And then I'm going to try and use Dragon's Breath, but I'm going to use acid, try to melt away the ice.
Okay. You start to use shape water,
Also melt it on the actual black bit as well. So
and
extra
you
friction.
start as you do. You start to notice that the top layer of the ice is starting to melt.
Yeah.
Just the very top layer. So you're not able to move much around, but you are able to start shaping water.
Can I use it to slam down like ice spikes? And... Come on, man, give me a mile.
Yeah, but then if you
Can
do,
you lift
you can
the
ask for
water
more ones.
like as a globule?
You cause the water to form into simple shapes and animate at your directions. You instantaneously move or otherwise change the flow of water as you direct, up to 5 feet in any direction. It doesn't say you can't.
I'll allow you to try lifting water, shaping it into like a thing,
Yeah.
and then freezing it and dropping it. Because you
not
can do
bad
that with shape
idea.
water.
Yeah, I want to add more ice to
Would you
this.
like me to? Well,
If you're trying to like hammer it with ice, if that's what you're trying to do.
More trying to water jet floss the ice.
I don't think shape water's quite that powerful.
not that one, no. So I'm going to grab a few guards that are free. I'm going
Roll
to
a persuasion check.
persuade. Thank you. Goodness sake, my one ability.
Roll a
I
deception.
can't-
roll athletics check. Go ahead.
Can
Roll
you-
your persuasion check.
What was the end of that sentence? What was the end of that question?
you please
Help me.
Oh, I thought it was going to be
look how
bigger.
strong I am?
Orcs only know body language.
Not in this world.
Disrangager's dice. You don't know what it is.
Oh,
Oh no.
Oh, that's not bad.
it's a 2.
That's a 7.
Oh.
You looked at a 12 and you missed the 1 there. That's when you got your 2.
I clearly looked at it upside down and just filled in the blank.
Upside down, 2 is a 7. Actually,
Kinda.
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, actually,
Kinda.
you learn things. That's a 12.
It's a 12.
Yeah. Basically, I'm saying your lieutenant has asked for assistance. And we need this is the best way. We need you to get through. He's an orc.
He rolled a
speaking
natural
orc.
1 on insight, so he's not entirely convinced.
That sounds like a personal problem.
Do you
I'm saying we need.
do you mention the lieutenant's name?
Yeah, I mean he's asked for help. We'll mention it. So I do
What is
mention.
the lieutenant's name?
I wrote it down.
Yeah, with my help.
That is the worst spelling for that name. Unkept. She said a K.
Find it
Then a
really
A
K.
N K H E T.
Wait,
feel like
A
I am
N
always on the
K
same page.
H E T.
E T. Unkept.
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 Somehow I'm always on the same page as you with
Ank-
spelling.
Say
and everyone else
Ankeg,
thinks
you know the
it's crazy.
creepy thing.
Yeah,
Ankeg.
but the spelling's
but
like
take the G off and put a T on.
Ank.
Anket.
Tet. That's what I'm reading there. The two.
but you're
Anyway,
dyslexic.
I say that in Orcish as well. So there's no, unless like anyone that's I shouldn't speak that
The
language.
majority of the population
Yeah.
here is Orcish or half Orcish.
So I speak in Orcish, so there's no communication errors. And I mentioned about. I say about the lieutenant.
Well,
and
you mentioned his name,
that was part
and
of
you
my
reroll
thing.
with advantage.
Hey.
Still got a natural 1.
He understands what you're trying to do after you explain it to him,
Time is of the essence.
and starts directing a couple of his like kind of partners in the area to start moving around collecting essentially charcoal and grease, anything that is darkly coloured that can be spread over a large area.
Perfect.
And he starts ordering them around to do that.
As you do that, I'm going to talk to you. Do you have any anything that is in your beast repertoire that is somewhat strong?
Do you have a steam train with
He has a
plow
walrus.
on the front?
I mean, that is kind of what he is when you think
Yeah.
about
He
it.
has a
If I
walrus.
roll a natural 20.
I think that dice
I
might
have
be
a
too
steam
small
trap.
for that chance.
Roll with your small dice. Oh,
Close.
that's not bad. Yeah, it actually wasn't too bad.
I've got a few powerful creatures. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for something that is strong. That way, because this once you do that, I'm going to cast Enlarge. So you can start really moving some stuff.
Okay, but if I do that, I won't be able to cast my one remaining spell and any cantrips that I may need to cast.
I thought you told me that while you're in symbiotic form, you could be able to do something like that.
Yeah,
I'm
but
confused.
my symbiotic form and my wild shapes are two different things because wild shapes I'm taking on the form of an animal,
I see.
whereas symbiotic entity I'm still myself. I'm just shiny and chrome.
Druid magic is something I really got to look into.
It's quite
fascinating.
interesting. I'd be happy to teach you sometime when I'm not trying to figure out how to break through this 2-foot wide ice shelf.
Well, for now, can you be able to turn in something like a walrus?
No, actually. Although I did manage to pick up that wild shape a while back. Turns out, my body can't handle that sort of blubber. You try to make a walrus made of steel. How the hell does it move?
That's a good point. Also,
I've
you'll
honestly
sink if you get
tried.
into the water. You still
Dude, I almost took down the boat last night trying.
fair enough. Well,
I'm imagining like transforming into like a fox and doing the thing that foxes do, where they like try to dive into snow, except you're made of metal and it's
do you have
ice.
anything like do you have any can turn into like
Oh
a,
my god, can you please try to do that
can you turn into
as
like some
a
kind of
middle
ox
fox,
or some kind
please?
of thing that can be able to at least
It's
be able to
hunting,
push
Michael.
things, something strong, something that can like
I'm not sure I can
ape
do an
maybe,
ox.
or
I-
gorilla.
They face plant,
Gorilla,
it's amazing.
possibly.
I definitely can't do a gorilla, and I'm. I seek Chance's guidance on
No, I
whether
really
or
wanna
not
watch
I'd encountered an ox before, and that's what it gave me.
Is Chance your god or something?
No. I
swear
rolled
that's not
the
true.
dice. But
Right, it's like that.
my main thing is right now, while we're having this conversation, I'm trying to figure out if I can get any of my spells back on a short rest.
I'm pretty sure that's not the case.
Yeah, I know. I've just discovered that myself.
It's only warlocks.
It'd be
And
And
wizards.
and wizards
yeah,
and
wizards
bards. Anyone with arcane recovery is able to do it, but druids.
That's true.
And no, fuck you. You gotta wait for a long rest.
To be fair, you got your animals.
I'm gonna go find a 2-foot wide ice shelf.
Okay.
I'm looking
On
for.
that note,
Wait.
okay.
I'm looking for a 20-foot radius of an ice shelf that seems fairly kind of hard to break through. Something maybe no one is around, but would be advantageous to move before I turn into an ox.
I'm going to try and get a guard to put some. So can you describe me where the ice is? Sorry, just to give me like a
All over the shoreline.
just the
area.
shoreline. Okay, I want to grab
Like it's back into
Can
some
I just-
buildings.
no.
But
Finish.
it's all over the shoreline.
I'd like to spend my last spell slot and
Why?
be useless.
Why?
Because I'm going to find the most advantageous place, and I'm going to use spike growth to break up the ice from under it.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's a good idea.
Okay.
I know.
It gives you less.
I'm casting it.
Roll
third level.
your
Oh
damage
shit.
because you don't need to roll a hit, if that's a thing. There's damage on that, right?
It becomes like difficult terrain, but
Oh,
it
okay,
does
there's no
2d4
Oh, it does. Okay.
piercing damage for every 5 feet that it travels. So as it goes like up and through the ice and stuff like that. I'm basically Elsa from Frozen. The
Let it
ballroom-
grow. Let
Yeah,
it grow.
the ballroom scene where she like gets everyone to stay away from her. That's what I'm trying to do with you right now because you keep talking to me while I'm trying to focus on my magic.
I want to point
It's a
out, you
2.
fucking do that to me all the time.
And that's a 3, so I do 5 points of damage to this
Okay.
ice shelf, which doesn't seem like a lot.
But it is a lot when it's siege.
Yeah.
you cast Spike Growth,
Yep.
and it cracks up through the ice and shatters around it, right at kind of the start of the thickest part of the ice shelf. And some of the water that is on top of it flows into the cracks, but it separates and is now lots of smaller pieces of ice.
Excellent.
Then I cast Enlarge on those eyes. Ruin everything.
I cast Mending.
And
I need that spell
I
slot.
guess I'm gonna have a look at the CR of an ox.
Well, I was just gonna
Guys.
say while he's doing that, I want to grab some guards, some strong guards, get them to see if they can take stuff like small boulders, that kind of stuff, put them over the ice, and then I'll cast Large on the boulders to break the ice and push it, start spreading it out away from the coast.
Okay. We'll get back to both of you. You two.
Yeah.
They're still running.
Wait,
As
can I
you-
just
We see that. We
tell
see
you
that.
something blonde that happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so everywhere I've written Port Dekar, I've actually written pork.
Pork.
Okay?
And I keep on thinking deck.
Pork Dekar.
Isn't that a brand or something for like an actual deck?
I don't. Pork
Like
Dekar.
literally,
It sounds like
in
something you
my
paint
on my
the
map
on the
that
deck.
I'd written everything down on, it says pork. So I have a twink pen.
You two.
Oh, you two.
As you attempt to ice skate towards the main wharf,
Or skating on thin ice.
you run into a couple buildings. Literally run into a couple buildings, and you take 1 point of damage.
I think it would move.
Oh yeah,
You
did
take
our,
2 points of damage.
oh,
Sorry.
yeah,
Can
did
it be
our
like-
dexterity saving throws ever go anywhere?
Yeah, what did you roll?
17.
17. Do you remember what you rolled for your dex saving throw?
18.
18. Yeah, you did pretty well. So you only took 2 points of damage, Sariel. You only took 1 point.
I
But
say-
for the most part, you managed to navigate your way through back towards the shoreline area. You immediately make your way
Does
the same direction you came in, and so you're looking back at the silver turn on that wharf.
does the wall like leave an imprint when they smash into it?
Yeah, they go
The
straight
classic
through.
animated imprint.
They go straight through it.
Someone's having a drink as they just go straight through.
Exactly. You currently, from your position at the kind of entrance to where the silver turn is docked, you can't see any sign of a main wharf or any broken wharf, because he did mention that the main wharf was damaged. And you've got to your left and right more harbour.
Alright, so I think so we're mainly here for like search and rescue rather than like repairing the infrastructure. So I imagine we'll see if Sulfur can like find anyone who's like
That's
around here and trapped.
Well, I mean, we've got mostly orc and half orc, right?
Yeah.
So we just follow the smell of body odor. Let's go.
Ouch.
We are in a hot climate, guys.
in their own town. There people are
Good,
bleeding.
good save. Good save.
We're in a hot climate.
Oh,
Come on.
Did the black?
He just said
stuff
I was
anything?
glistening.
That's fair. That's fair.
You'll
She
find it.
narrows down out of our smells. She'll be able to pick it up.
That's fair. That's okay.
Because neither of us will have, like, half orc smelling sweat.
That
We'll have
implies
half
that
human
half orcs
smelling and
smell
human smelling
differently
sweat.
innately to.
Well, I just assumed that
humans.
they would smell
Smell like
different
onions.
to a dog.
I mean, yeah.
No,
that
that's
would be
August.
good.
That's August.
You guys are making it sound like I'm being racist, but I actually think it would smell different to a dog.
I mean, no, technically that would be true.
See, I don't know if.
could be
I don't know how that works.
Different
in all
climates
honesty.
and whatnot. Yeah, there'll be different
Oh, no,
smells.
Well, I
different
know that
climates,
dogs
yes.
Yeah, different countries.
They can
different
pick up
smells.
yes.
Yeah.
They can pick up smells, like different smells.
But I am
easily.
interested to know if,
I mean,
for example,
I suppose like regardless of biology stuff, if they have a different diet, then they'll smell different.
What is that though? Hold on.
they will smell different.
They'll smell different from
Not
you
sure
and
you can
I
make
and
out
our
half
group
orc
anyway.
or whatever based on that. But yes,
She should be able to
Not
smell
us, I
out a new
suppose.
smell that she's not smelled before and follow it.
Yes.
It's not going to be too hard.
roll a survival check for Sulfur, please. What are you doing?
I'm
Getting
gonna
ready
be
to
like
dig
moving
people out of
around,
their houses.
I'm just going to be like hanging around kind of the same place, but I am occasionally like calling out
Oh.
in Orcish. Is anybody trapped? Does anybody need help? And
Okay.
like pausing to listen for.
Yeah,
for
So,
things.
non-beast, yeah.
Okay.
it says she has advantage on checks, on wisdom checks that rely on hearing or smell.
Strength.
Yeah. So advantage.
Can I?
Yep.
Oh, thank God. I rolled a 1 just so everyone knows.
Ooh.
So that's now a 10.
Okay. Okay. Which direction is she heading?
Michael?
I mean, we're
Basically,
plenty
you've
of
got
ice.
east or west along the harbour.
Mm,
So
doesn't matter. Let's head west.
okay.
As
They're,
he said.
they're about the same to us, so
Okay. The two of you, begin to head west. Sulfur is sniffing mainly around the buildings.
Good of you to turn the mic off for the drink, but
Hannah?
on for the cough.
Yeah, probably.
Mostly around the buildings.
It's off. I didn't turn it on.
The more you press that, the more we hear it.
Go on, please. Don't mind me.
You start to walk by. Most of this area is warehousing. Larger buildings, mainly made for storage of cargo. As you walk
While
behind
she
Sulfur
does that,
calling
can
out,
I also look for any boot prints or anything in the ice? Like anything that would indicate that somebody has come past?
roll an investigation check.
12.
12. You find pretty
Not very good.
definitively that there aren't really any tracks around here.
Okay.
So, you're pretty sure no one's passed through at all in any direction. Sulfur starts to smell around the warehouses. You are calling out. One person does respond to your calling out. And Sulfur, hearing noise as they call out for help, her ears prick up and she leads you straight to the source of the sound, where you find a young half-orc woman.
yeah,
Who isn't necessarily trapped,
yeah,
but is taking cover in one of the warehouses.
yeah.
She's wearing kind of like very workman style clothes. It's obvious she was probably working in this warehouse
Yeah.
when the horse person rode through. But she's currently taking cover and has a large like sledgehammer style thing that she is holding on to. This fucking fly, I swear.
Oh, really? It's still there?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's going to be here for the rest of the night and I hate it. Currently holding on to this large sledgehammer that she's just brandishing. Sees you come in and
So
realizes that she's
I'll
safe.
like stop at the door and just be like, hey, the rider's gone. We're doing search and rescue. Are you okay?
Gone for good.
We think so. No one spotted him in like an hour by now.
She drops the sledgehammer, stands up and starts moving out, and as she moves past you she says, "Thank you, I appreciate it. I've been here a little while."
I'm glad you're all right. People are mostly gathering up at the northern end of the city if you want to find anyone and make sure your friends and family are okay.
I'll head there now, thank you. And she steps onto the ice carefully, very not used to, people here are not used to this, and starts to kind of slip and slide her way back towards the center of town.
I just thought of something really smart with how we've split the party. Both sets have at least one person that speaks Orcish.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
I didn't even think about that. I'm glad you did it.
Just need to color code my spells so I can remember what is what.
What? Why?
Ready for the second level. Ready for the...
You continue moving through the back streets around the warehouses and along the docks themselves. I'd like Sulfur to roll another advantage survival check. I'd like Sariel, I'd like you to roll an investigation check for me, and John, I would like you to roll
Performance check for yelling.
also roll an investigation check.
Okay. Yep.
Okay, so
So that's
21 for sulfur
Okay.
and 17 for me.
17 for you, and what did you roll?
6.
6. Okay. Funnily enough,
That was a good
a couple times you pass by some other search parties. They don't have anyone with them, but they are also scouring these areas as well. And you do eventually come across the main wharf, where there are a couple of work people moving in from the center of town with tools. There are a couple of people with large stakes and sledgehammers who are now trying to break the ice off of the edges of the wharf, and a bunch of other people who are moving through a very narrow path that's being created with timber and other repair materials. And you can see that the main wharf, there's an entire section of boardwalk that is just gone. You can see timber floating in the water below, but it looks like either the weight of the ice was too heavy or whatever froze over just cracked and went straight through, and the main wharf is now pretty much unusable until it's fully repaired. There are a number of boats docked along it further up and are completely inaccessible, at least by walking. And as you continue your search and rescue, you manage to find, with your rolls, a total of 10 trapped or otherwise citizens, mainly around that main wharf area, a little bit further out as well, and a couple you find in the houses behind the harbour dock, the harbour warehouses. But you managed to find 10 total people. A couple times you see other rescued people running or sliding past you, but only just a couple.
That fucking fly.
You two.
Hi.
Hello.
Is the black stuff doing anything?
Well, you haven't quite reached the point where you're not very far into this yet.
That's fine.
It's only been a couple minutes, so you don't see any sign of it yet. But
Give it time. Sun's beating.
Varamas, you are shaping into something.
Just weighing up my options and trying to figure out whether or not wild shape
Hope you're not weighing up a
includes... No, can't weigh up a walrus.
You can be a big
It's
walrus.
just impractical with steel, but can wild shape include monstrosities?
It's beast only, isn't it?
Yeah, beast shape is in its name.
It's called wild shape, not beast shape.
No. Yeah? Then what's beast shape?
no.
Beast shape was a early 2000s cartoon starring Optimus Primal.
Optimus
No,
Prime.
that's-
I don't know what it's
That's
called.
Beast Wars, okay? But I
Oh man.
okay.
You know, everyone's favourite robot gorilla.
Starting at second level,
Yeah.
you can use your action to magically assume the shape of a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, a beast.
I was
You can be a
I was
owl.
just testing our DM's knowledge.
Someday you can be a whale.
No, I can't.
Someday.
Too
Someday.
high a challenge rating.
I forget, is there a size limitation?
I don't know. I
No
haven't-
size
Just-
rating
no,
limitation.
Clearly,
just
I
a-
haven't
just
looked
a
at our
challenge.
rating.
You could just
Yeah.
go for a draft rules or something.
I
Your
suggest
druid
maybe
level
a
determines
bear.
what beast you can transform
Um,
into. It's second
A
level,
brown
you can
bear.
only
Very strong.
Trying to listen.
transform into ones that are quarter or lower in challenge rating.
No, a bit. Yeah.
Well, I
brown
can go
bears.
half or lower at the moment, so that's good.
You can
Yeah.
do octopus.
No, I can't.
Well, oh. What
Two.
can you do?
That's a good question.
Good question.
Level 5, man.
I know.
Giant crab. Let's go.
How do we have an octopus in one
crabs
bucket?
Go
Probably
to
has
him
six
first. He's probably
Sounds like
got
a
several
hard one.
things that he wants to do.
I don't remember these things. Okay.
On a boat.
Yeah.
Fled by,
But we're all
that was a
level
high level
3,
druid.
weren't we?
That was a high
On
level
a
druid.
boat.
Anyway, what are you doing?
Alright, so I want to just double check on my boulder thing, breaking the ice and whatnot, using cast and enlarge. Did that actually go through? As in, can I use a spell slot for that kind of stuff?
I mean, you can. If you'd like to try it.
I like. Yeah, I'm thinking like on the weaker.
The
weaker structure.
problem is moving something large enough to make a difference
That's why.
onto the ice in the first place, so that you can then enlarge it.
Well, you don't need to move it there and just place it down. You can roll it.
if you consider a 2-foot solid sheet of ice that's covering the
2
ground,
feet. I mean, we're going for something that's kind of boulder sized enough for an orc to carry. They're pretty strong guys. I'm looking for
I
meaty
mean, if you
ones.
consider an anvil, try carrying. I mean, anvil's ridiculously heavy. No one person can
Yeah.
carry an anvil. But let's just consider you're super strong and you can carry an anvil normally.
Yeah, sure.
Are we then walking on ice carrying an anvil?
No. You slide it across the ice. And then enlarge it as it goes on. So then it gets to the fragile areas of the ice and starts cracking.
I mean, ice is only really fragile if there's nothing underneath it. Or water underneath it.
That's why the further it gets to the closer ones, it'll crack and then start breaking up.
You can try. You just have to find something heavy.
See how
Or convince
far-
someone to find something heavy.
Well, I assume I'm still talking to the guards and still carrying some instructions in
Yeah,
that
if you
case.
want.
Because they're here for rescue and whatnot.
Yeah, there are people running around doing all kinds of stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Some people repairing buildings, some people, you know.
okay.
The roofs here are not made for the weight
I'm
of
gonna
ice.
turn before I do that kind of thing. I will talk to a couple of guards that are strong and ask them about if they can be able to bring some heavy stuff that they can throw onto the ice. While they're doing that, I'm going to talk to Vadimus and ask if he's got any progress on his situation.
Do you have any specific items that you are suggesting to them?
I'm thinking of items of large mass.
Just your mama on ice skates.
Yeah, that's gonna go well talking to a guard bat. And he's arrested. And, I don't.
Problem solved.
I'm basically just saying like anything they can find of large mass. Obviously not to strain themselves. Maybe get on like a carriage or something so they can carry it easier. Anything they can find.
Roll a persuasion check for me.
Thank you. This is the most I've done in one session. Persuasions.
No, it's not.
Nice. That is a 23, I'm pretty sure. So +5. Yes, 23.
Okay.
Thank you.
You talk to a couple guards. And they seem to be receptive of your idea.
Okay. Do they go out and do such?
There are some words exchanged.
They're like, yeah, good idea. And
Some
then
people
come to
move
a-
around. You're not entirely sure what's happening. You hope that they're doing what you want.
I mean, I should kind of inside check whether or not that they actually are doing that, or like they're just
Roll a
been,
do you
like,
believe it check.
do I believe it? Oh, that's not bad. That's a 22.
22? Probably. I mean, they seemed receptive to the idea and...
Receptive is like saying,
and
yeah, good idea.
Immediately started to move.
Okay.
The guards aren't particularly talkative. They are very
That's
busy right now. And so you discussing things with them, they just kind of like, yeah, okay, yep, okay, good
Okay.
idea.
Okay.
I'll try and deal with it. And a couple of them have like moved off from what they were doing at your suggestion.
It's just like, yeah, it's the ones that
so
like...
it seems like maybe something's going to happen.
Okay.
But they don't seem particularly convinced that they maybe can find anything or organize
What I'm
that.
saying is, whatever they can find, they can help.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, I'm going to then, before I do enlarge, I'm probably going to see if I can have they start spreading this sort or spreading black stuff around?
As you continue to talk to guards, you do start to see some people coming out with large urns and throwing, in one case, a large amount of oil over a slick surface.
Good.
Which immediately realizes is on a slight decline and the oil is just going. And he's like, ah, fuck. And then you see another couple other people come out with buckets of like charcoal that's been
Good.
ground down,
Good.
chucking
Good.
that
Good.
over the ice. And it's about 3 or 4 people that you see doing this yourself.
Yeah.
You don't know if there are more, but you see
Okay.
it starting to happen.
I'll start like helping along with that as well. Just grab what I can, just throwing it, and
Okay.
I'm gonna try. Is there any like housing or anything like near the
No, this is all housing area around here.
Fuck. All right. Well, I'm trying to guide them just to avoid.
It's like
Wooden
it's like
structures.
really. The streets here are really narrow.
Oh, okay, right.
The houses are like the bright white stucco kind of what's it? It's called adobe, I think, is the really bright kind of material that is used.
Very expensive.
They're roughly square. Most of them are very square shaped.
Don't pay every month, they come and rip it off.
Yeah,
your
exactly.
house.
Roughly square shaped, all the houses, and they're packed really tightly together. It's usually, 2 or 3 houses in a row that are touching, that share walls, and then there's a very narrow alleyway, and even the main or the larger streets are quite narrow. It's all very tightly packed. It's like what you see. It's like when you see the kind of coastal cities in, I think it's like Greece and stuff, where they're super tight packed.
Okay, in that case, can I?
Except it's mostly level ground.
Can I ponder
You can
some
ponder.
better ideas with a intelligence check? Because
If
Josh
you're
is.
expecting me to just hand you ideas,
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
have any.
you give the situation without
Yeah,
any.
that's what, I don't need to have the
Thanks, Dan.
solution. You guys have to come up with the
But
solution.
here's where it comes to the point where the player's intelligence is not equivalent to the character's intelligence.
Just roll, and I'll tell you what Archibald will do in this situation.
You set a forest on fire. I don't.
You can set this
Actually.
place on fire,
Oh.
melt the ice.
He put it out
Yeah,
too.
no.
Yeah, I did put it out.
That's.
In my
Environment.
defense.
There you
Come
go.
up with
Good
something.
idea. I mean, the only idea was his idea. That's all I got.
I mean,
The
if
water
you want to
that's-
keep rolling, I can keep generating ideas, but they'll be of decreasing quality.
There's not
water
much
that's
we can
flowing
do
in,
with this. I can't
Is that
think of
getting under the
my
ice
whole
at all?
Elements ice.
Anytime there
I
are
can't
cracks in the
battle
ice,
with
as the water kind of flows into it, it is going in and kind of seeping into the ground under the ice. But it's not, like the ice is flush with the ground.
Alright.
I have
As the
a
water goes
suggestion
though,
regarding
the
the
warmer
heavy thing.
water is starting to kind of melt the ice away a little bit faster. It's not warm water, but it's obviously warmer than the ice.
I think
Okay.
as it goes on, I'm just going to keep an eye on it. And once it looks like I've got enough water for a 5-foot cube of water, which is insane.
I mean, you can do
It
that
is,
pretty
yeah.
quickly here because
Yeah.
it's a very small layer, but it's a large amount.
Yeah.
You know.
And once I do that, I might just use it as like this big watery snow plow.
So you're gonna
Just-
force it into the cracks and try
Yeah.
and okay.
That's
Roll
very smart.
roll an Arcana check for me. Actually, roll a Nature check because technically this is
Can I roll a survival check?
no Nature.
I
This
would
is the
like
problem.
survival.
I know one thing that can melt things very quickly.
21.
Shortly.
Lightning.
Mate, I'm spent. Literally,
I have
I've only got.
lightning breath.
Yeah, well, I have lightning bolt, but
Oh,
you don't
really?
hear me bragging about it because I'm spent.
Okay.
How many
I have a
spells do you have
suggestion
left?
for
What was that?
I don't know what I don't think I did anything.
What
last
was the roll?
episode.
21.
What did I?
21.
I have a suggestion for your enlarged thing.
What did I cast some large ones? Sorry, yeah, go on, please.
Why don't you get somebody to go around with a pickaxe and put cracks in the ice before you break it with the big heavy thing?
That's a dumb idea. No, it's actually fantastic. That's a good idea. But
Weaken
no,
it
seriously.
and then drop something heavy on it.
Yeah, someone mute that quickly. Because no,
Um,
no, that's actually really good. I like that idea.
Tharamas,
yes, so
you
I'm
start to
pretty sure you
force
cast
the
enlarge
water
at least
into the
once,
cracks in the
probably
ice that
twice,
you've made previously.
but I don't remember.
And as you
I'm gonna
manage,
say once.
the cracks
All my
themselves are
spells.
not 5 feet of volume, or 5 times 25 feet of volume. No, whatever. They are not enough volume for a 5-foot cube of water to force its way in. And as you do, as you start to force it in, the ice starts to break apart. Which in turn cracks further down the ice, and you start to move forward using your shape water to crack the ice apart.
And that lasts for an hour.
You have got an hour of that.
Yeah.
You start to move in, just forcing the water into each crack as it forms, and you start to carve a way through this street, leading directly towards
And
the
it's a
dogs.
cantrip, so I'm just going to keep going until it's done.
Yeah, you are.
I will. I'm going to. Just want to double check what I got. I don't really have anything that's for like, this kind of situation. Honestly, I'm more combat orientated. I'm going to
Just out of
cast lightning for Dragon's Breath, and lightning reaches up to high degrees of temperature.
Oh, I know.
So I'm going to cast it away from the buildings, but I'm going to cast like, as he's going one direction, I'm going the other direction. So that way it can start melting and just...
How far away from me are you casting
I
it?
don't know how far you are though.
Because I have metal hands, and I'd rather not be a lightning rod.
Zach,
He's a walking lightning rod.
my favorite thing is that he does that and all the fish are coming up from the ocean. You just become a fisherman. Very quickly.
So you use basically the starting point that Varamas made, and as he starts to carve his way down one street, you strike off into another one of the slightly larger streets.
Yeah. Away from
focusing your lightning breath
Yeah.
down at the ground and away from the buildings.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like other areas got the black soot and what I was trying to
Roll
melt that stuff.
Roll an Arcana check for me.
Okay. You know what? This one has been doing me pretty well, so no.
Don't ruin your luck with that one.
I don't. No, it's just. I haven't ruined it yet. We said Arcana, yeah? Mm-hmm. 24.
24. Very
I've
nice.
rolled like 3 18s this time.
The heat
better than last
the heat of the lightning starts to melt pretty rapidly. It just kind of a dip in the ice as you're going. It's not cracking the ice, but the water it's forming water, which is then in turn starting to the heat of the water or the warmth of the water is now cracking the ice underneath it.
Is it also...
It's a slow process, but you start to carve it, kind of like a channel through, which is making the process.
Could we say with that, with generating water, like generating more water, heated water, that's helping him out with his shed water?
You're moving away from him.
True, but I assume from current-wise, maybe. Cause
there's not really any current, and you are moving away, and he can only control 5 feet of water at a time.
Oh, okay. Could I then also be that, because there's black soot, that heat is still being generated? Because it does create quite a wide amount of heat.
You're in an area where the black soot hasn't touched yet, which is working out because you're seeing, as you move through some of the side streets, and you're seeing a couple buildings over where they have sooted it. Mm-hmm. The soot, the charcoal, and the oil is now kind of, it's not mixing because obviously it doesn't mix with water, but it is now swirling in a way that is obviously the ice is starting to heat, and the charcoal is now very damp. It's very much made just black water along the
This
the
lasts
top
for a
of all of this.
minute, so I'm willing to cast my last second level spell slot if there's still more to do, and I'm even willing to use some of my third level spell slots for this.
Okay.
And I'm even willing to use multiple of these ones just in case it actually adds up.
Okay, roll another Arcana check for me.
All right.
You didn't happen to multiclass into sorcerer since that last check?
Nope, not yet. And even if I could, Dragon Breath is a bonus action.
Why am I out of spells?
Why are you out of spells? What did you do today?
What didn't
when
you?
the ship arrived,
The
and
spike
you
growth.
were
That's a 13.
So I cast Spike Growth.
Spike breath?
you did cast
Spike
a lot
breath.
of spells getting us out of the ice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you did.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I'm
remember that. I
tapped.
remember.
I can literally only control one of the 4 fundamental elements of the universe.
Only one.
You move at a relatively quick pace. The heat of the plasma is working quite well on the surface of this ice, carving this kind of channel. It's a very, very shallow channel through quite thick ice, but it is helping the process along with the kind of mid-afternoon sun beating down on a lot of this road.
Perfect. So do we kind
You
of
spend all but 2 of your spell slots of any level.
2. Add 2 second level slots now.
Yeah. So you,
Yeah.
so you have
So
2
I'm
left.
just saying.
All but 2. So you've got 2 left.
Of
Of any level.
any level.
Yeah. If you're trying to cover a large area using all your spell slots.
It's just Dragon Breath is a second level slot.
Oh, okay.
Higher, so I still have my level 1s, I guess.
Brag about it.
Okay, you'll still have your level 1s.
You also cast
would
a
you-
large reduce.
Then I'd say you have 1 left of your. level
No,
2s
they were
and
still
3s.
doing that, so I didn't.
1
probably
left
do
of your
that.
2s and 3s.
2 and 3s. Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'll do that then. And when like boulders.
I don't think you meant each.
Each
Just of 1.
of 1. Sorry. Okay, in that case, it'll be a third one then, because I would have just.
Yeah, there you go.
That's fine. That's cool.
As you move through, and as the 2 of you are making your way around, you also see people with shovels, sledgehammers, pickaxes starting to move through the unaffected areas, breaking up the ice themselves, cracking open doorways. Essentially, just a lot of the town at this point is helping with the efforts to remove this ice to repair the buildings. After a solid few hours, as the sun's heat is starting to fade a little bit, the ice isn't all melted, but pretty much all areas that need to be accessed are accessible at this stage.
Yep.
A lot of the ice has been removed or shoved to the side to make paths, and is melting at a much more rapid pace now.
So
Even as the night comes, it is still quite hot.
is there a lot of black sludge flowing out?
There is a lot of black sludge. Some of these streets are they're just black mud now, which used to be a coarse sand in a lot of areas, kind of a coarse dirt sand mixture. Now it's just this black sludgy mud.
That's fine. We'll blame a bomb for that one. That's fine.
Yeah,
Caltex oil. There you go.
but it has worked. Your efforts have been noticed.
I want to say Silkus, when he's done that exhausted, he just falls into like a nice pad of
Cowpat?
no. Falls in like a patch of snow and just like he starts melting into it because he's got a lot of heat stroke. So he starts
Silkus is
melting.
fucking burned.
He is like done all that plus exhaustion. I'm willing to take an exhaustion point for all that shit.
You don't have to. You've just been casting spells. That's all.
But let him. It'll be funny.
I'll
be
take
fine.
it. I'll take it.
Your speed is now halved.
I don't know what that roll would be for.
You
So-
died. that was your roll.
That
That
was
was a death
it.
saving throw.
That was
Shit.
the number of exhaustion points.
Damn it.
No,
9
no.
exhaustion points.
Oh god, no.
Not only have you died,
Well-
but you've come back to life and someone's strangled.
Kevin, you're lucky.
You've gotten so exhausted that you came back to life and died again.
Work ain't finished yet. Then faints again.
Gandalf the White.
What are you doing as the sun's starting to get low?
Finding a bed.
Someone's getting low.
I'm gonna see. I'm gonna talk to the lieutenant and see how's things going.
Okay. Make an investigation check for me.
Sure.
Because you're not entirely sure where he is.
That is a 7. Or investigation, sorry. That, my friend, is an 8.
Is an 8.
It's just the one I needed.
You look around for a while, you can't find him.
DC was 7. Okay. I'm gonna talk to
He
the
wasn't the
guards,
real
see
captain.
if they know where he is, possibly.
A couple of the guards don't know, but you move on, and one that you speak to is like, "Oh, I saw him recently. He's just over at the wharfs, seeing to the main effort."
Did you just?
Yes,
Holy shit!
he was annoying me.
I think he just caught the fly.
He did.
Holy crap! Are you multiplying?
Keep going. Keep
Okay.
going.
I was just so amazed by that. I'm going to head to the wharf and is he there? Sorry, I cast invisibility. I cast invisibility. I'm sorry.
As you take the sludgy paths back towards the wharfs, you
Ugh.
emerge from between a couple warehouses and you look down
I've arrived.
to the west.
Yep.
And see a very brightly shining suit of armor, currently gesticulating with the sun, the low sun, just shining into your face off of this very brightly polished
Appreciate
armor.
the aesthetics.
You spot him from a while away.
He
and
is the
approach him.
he's part-time lighthouse. Okay, fine.
We appreciate your efforts.
It was a pleasure.
You've not gone unnoticed.
Least we could do. Is there anything else that needs to be done?
Well, if you could catch the thing, that would be great.
That is on top of our priority at the moment.
I thought I had him a minute ago.
It's like number 3 on the priorities, really, but sure.
I mean, he doesn't have to know that.
I'm not there.
The main wharf is
Okay,
close to finished. If you'd like to help with that, you're more than welcome. But there's not a whole lot you'll be able to do. Get some rest.
Where would you recommend? Where's kind of
Town square is surrounded by places you could sleep.
Alright.
Head over there and you'll find somewhere.
Okay, well, if you do need any more help, possibly I can't say for everyone else because I'm sure everyone spent. But if you do, you know where to find us then. And I
We'll
hold
look
out my
around.
hand to shake.
He shakes it.
And
takes it and shakes it.
I think I'm still down
And
at
makes
the.
Bakes it.
I think I'm
It's still
still down
sunlight.
at the wharf, helping them finish up. I have control water, which is significantly more powerful at the wharf.
Yeah, I mean you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're going to head down there and do what, sorry?
Just help them with the cleanup.
Okay.
And once it's done, I think I'm just going to... I'm just going to fall asleep wherever. As long as it's not in water.
Okay.
Like on the ice.
I,
This place is like
potentially.
I'm guessing this isn't a humid place.
No,
for
it's
gatherings.
it's a very dry heat. It's a very
Yeah,
dry
very
I don't want to
strong.
sleep outside.
No, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's not
He-
humid,
he
but
was
it's
in a
such a
tree at
dry
one point.
heat that it's just like you are sweating enough to make it humid in your immediate personal space.
And plus, we just did like
Well-
an hour or so of work.
Dry heat's a lot easier to sleep in than
I am anticipating.
humidity.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Well, John is gonna find a thing because I'm anticipating it's gonna get cold at night.
With all the snow around, yeah.
Okay.
I would say that.
No, just because it's a desert, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Desert of snow at the moment.
head back to the main square
Yeah.
because it's kind of the central point where you all split off. You three meet back up.
On the way, I'll probably like if someone like needs handling, carrying stuff, or like put in position stuff. I use mage hand, just get one person just to help out.
Okay, you do so. Roll a straight charisma check for me.
Charisma.
Yeah.
Alright.
You good at that?
Yeah, 18.
Nice.
Good.
Trying to psych me
Good
out.
to
Bitch.
know.
No, I was just saying you're good at that.
Good to
I
know.
don't know how to take your compliments.
So three of you
Not
have made
used to
back
it.
up. Silkus, you've been recommended somewhere around the immediate town square.
Do I have a name like a tavern or something nice?
You look around. There are a number of tavern-looking places.
Name 3. Don't. Just keep going.
Is name of one of the taverns?
I can...
Don't just keep going.
Yeah, it's a 1-star rest
Yeah, it's a
Um,
one-star tavern.
tavern. Yeah,
That's
it's
the
just
best
the
rating.
symbol. The symbol is just like a hand going this way, just pointing that direction.
Go that way.
With like 2 eyes behind like slits, just pointing that way.
Keep moving, bub.
A lot of these places are kind of
Please
the
say that
only
one of them is
two-story.
named Fiery Cactus.
Fire cactus.
A lot of these places are like the only two-story areas or buildings in the whole town that you've seen, besides the warehouses, which in themselves are not two-story, because quite tall.
Yeah.
As you enter one, you realize that it's not the rooms that are on a second story that's necessarily making it second story. It's this large open front room where they have the seating for travelers and for people after work to come and sit and have dinner and drink. Is this very high ceilinged room with a large kind of open plan area with the walls themselves are just, there are huge arch windows with large wooden shutters that are currently open, letting a lot of airflow through. And out the back of this particular building, you can see a large courtyard with even some grass, which you're not used to seeing here. Grass and a couple trees and plants, surrounded by an amount of rooms on the ground floor, each with its own kind of shaded area, making a nice square building with this central courtyard letting airflow all the way through.
Oh, that's nice.
You head up to get a room.
Do I meet with these two?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've met with these two.
Not
Is
with him
there-
yet.
Not with him yet.
Good.
Is there something which resembles? By head up, you mean just like there's a front desk? or
As in,
something?
yeah. Do you look for someone?
Yeah, I'll look for some.
Yeah.
So upon seeing Varamus not around, I'm gonna ask Sulfur if she can go find him.
Okay. Roll a survival check for Sulfur, please, with advantage, because she knows Varamas is sent, and is also a scent.
22.
22. Varamas, where are you?
Is she a delivery girl or a messenger girl?
I think I made it
She's gonna
like...
bring him back, yeah.
I think I made it a couple of blocks away from the docks.
And then just
And then I was just tired, so I found a tree.
So she's pretty
trancing.
much just gonna like smash into your face with her nose, like,
I mean, he's under the tree. I mean, there aren't really any
Put your
trees
hand
around
on him.
here, but you do manage to find kind of a small like watchtower style thing. Do you sit in there?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay.
She's just going to
Sulfur
irritate him
finds
whatever way she can.
Varamas, but is unable to reach him.
She will irritate him any way she can. She will howl. She will scratch at the bottom of the thing.
Right when she howls in the middle of my trance, I'm just like,
She's pretty much trying to wake you up.
While that's happening, just like when we're meeting up and get a room, I just want to like, kind of when Sulphur's gone, I just like, so that was a bit of a busy day we had.
Yeah.
I was curious, what do you guys think about Vadamas?
I mean, like, seems like a solid guy, if a bit unpredictable. Like, I don't have a good handle on him, but I don't know. He seems to want to help us.
Yeah, I mean, he's very useful. He's quite
Very useful.
very useful. He's very interesting. A bit weird to get. It's difficult to get a beat on him, but he seems to have kind of a handle on stuff. I was just thinking, when we find Archibald and Fenrir, what do you guys think about keeping Vadimus around?
I mean, he's not a dog at
I mean,
the moment.
Obviously, I think
At the moment.
that's very true. Very true. Just if he wants to come along.
I would be happy
I like
to
him.
have him stay with us. Like, he's been excellent help and just seems capable. We'll
He's
see what
my
he
kind
wants.
of person. He changes with the weather.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
just think very carefully about what you're doing. Because I will do it.
This is so good.
You will hate this later.
I know. I'm gonna sit over there, or out there.
Yeah, I think you'll have to be well and truly.
I will-
I think
Get my own.
if this happens,
Discord set up.
which I know Theo will absolutely hate, by the way, but if this happens, I think having like 6 pictures and then 2 of them mirror flipped are both Glenn.
Just
So that he can
slightly
look at
out of
himself.
sync of each other.
Oh no!
Yeah, he can look at himself. Oh my god.
Oh god, that's the best and the worst kind of thing.
Oh man!
So I'm just saying because
Stop giving me
obviously
good ideas.
we could definitely use the extra help, even with with our
Anna's gonna
Favorite
kill you
broken
for this
man.
idea.
we could still use it just if he wants to
Oh,
stay.
absolutely, if he wants to.
'Cause
But it's up to him and potentially also depending on his allegiance with the Maestrial.
Good point. So that's the thing. We don't really know anything about that, because as far as I'm aware,
Yeah.
Astral is very. We can trust him for the time being. But
Maestrial is, yes.
I was thinking of someone else. Then, go on.
Well, we can ask him about what his expectations for how she would feel about it if he stayed on, and how he would feel about
It
it if he
seemed
stayed on.
more like he was there by choice rather than by allegiance.
Yeah, it seems more like
Yeah.
kind of like a
It
third
seemed like he
party
was free
kind
to
of thing.
come and go as he pleased.
Sounding more like a mercenary when you think about it. So I'm just curious
I don't
about
know.
his life.
He doesn't
his
seem the type to
allegiances.
get paid for what he wants to do.
Because I mean, I'm all right if we keep him. I'm just curious what you guys were thinking. Because
Hi,
we
I'm
just
with
worked
John here.
together
He's
for a
not a
bit.
dog yet.
Oh, sorry,
We can't keep him.
I didn't say we're gonna keep him. I said, do you want to keep
Mommy,
him
can
around
we
if he
keep
wants
it?
to? I swear I'll.
Where did
Pretty
you
much
get a
doing
big
it,
man?
I swear
guys.
I'll train him and feed him every day. I'll
Will you
be sure
walk
he's
him?
taller trained. Because that's the
Will you
big one.
walk him?
Sorry?
Will you walk him?
With a very long leash, yes. 30 feet leash.
I'm not walking him for you.
Always
Are you ashamed to
Why is
be
it catch?
around me? I rock up. I've been listening for the last 5 minutes.
Followed Sulfur
I'm
back.
joking. I'm not.
That is a
I
good.
haven't come back.
So, and after about 20 minutes of bothering him, Sulfur comes back with her tail down,
No, I
trying
would
to
have.
communicate that she found him, but he wouldn't come.
I would have come back with sulfur.
Good.
I would have after I realized that I'd been howling, I would have been like, I know a wolf. I mean, sorry, I would have been like, I know a wolf.
I'm not a wolf.
And then I'll climb down the tree and pat Sulphur and have her lead me back to the group.
Okay. You
Yeah,
you
she
end up
would
at this particular inn.
As we walk in, the
slash
bartender
hotel
has a go at me. Not allowed to have dogs in here. That's a guide dog, mate. Really? Guide dogs are usually German Shepherds or Labradors. What do they give to me?
What's a German Shepherd?
I think that's the
I thought
Zimian
Zemnian.
Shepherd.
It's just highly efficient.
It's just a shepherd, not an actual dog. It's just a shepherd.
Okay, I've had my 20-year-old ad reference. Keep going.
Alright.
That ad's as old as
Yeah,
us.
so we've had our chat, and
I assume, yeah.
So, yeah, are there any like going up to the front desk? So, do you have any rooms available?
Yes, we do. For how many?
Paul's just like.
As you look back, I'm already trancing again.
Probably just for 4, including Sulphur here.
Yes, well, Sulphur won't need her own room, so room for 4.
Should be with me.
4 separate rooms or a room for 4?
2 separate rooms.
Rooms for 4.
If obviously you guys like to stay together, it's up to you really.
It doesn't matter. I'm not picky. Whichever's cheapest and most convenient.
1 for me.
Of course.
You sound familiar.
3 silver
We've got very
each.
similar accents.
I started this and I
3
regret.
silver per room.
I want off this train. 3 silver.
So whoever's paying.
Per room or per
3
person?
per room. I'll
3
pay for
silver
mine.
per room.
I pay for my one.
Are we
Yeah.
sharing, John?
Yeah, let's. I got it this time.
Okay.
3 per.
I'll give you a silver as well.
3 silver per room.
Actually, yeah. Can I try and slip a silver into John's wallet? Just real subtle.
Roll sleight of hand check while he's paying for the for
So
the
I
room.
guess this is first my passive. Since
Yeah.
I am quite distracted.
Yeah.
Well,
I am distracted
What's your
with very
passive perception?
wallet-involved matters. 11.
Yeah,
the
he
one that's
doesn't,
trying to
he
create
doesn't notice.
currency.
Although you do feel this, like, you feel your belt move, and you're like, the fuck? But by the time you look, it's
Yeah.
well and truly closed.
Yeah.
You're not sure what happened to it.
I like it.
I'm
You're
just
the one
like, well, there's no one around here who's looking shifty and like someone I don't know, so no one tried to steal from me.
Yeah, you check your belt pouch, and you're like, it all seems there.
the guy that's trying to make
It's like all the gold's there, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
good.
the guy that's trying to create basically a place to hold coins has trouble keeping track of his own like.
I am
his other one's
trying
to hold.
I'm
take
trying
coins
to
from him
eliminate the need for holding coins.
Yeah,
from past
exactly.
experiences. As such.
Exactly.
Oh god, I just stumbled upon this backstory. I don't know.
Oh yes, and I'm also gonna grab a bottle of whatever spirit they happen to have on hand.
Okay. You're familiar
Fuck off, girls.
with
Yeah.
the Grodalian style of spirit.
I mean,
Very
we are-
strong and crude for the most part.
Methylated.
They are not
Yeah.
very involved in the alcohol business. But you do pick one up for 2 silver.
You make a
Yeah.
mean spirit. I hate you.
we're not doing great.
Yeah,
There you go.
I assume that it's
It's just a ghost putting with a finger.
I assume that it's a bit different from the Grodalian kind, given the width of Thrakratha.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's you're familiar with the style that
Okay,
it is over
yeah.
here in Thrakratha, but you're also aware that Grodalia is really the only city
Yeah.
in Thrakratha. It's the largest continent on Genoa, but it's mostly populated by very small towns
Yeah.
over a large area with no population in between, and then Grodalia, smack bang in the northeastern side.
Yeah.
And Grodalia is far out populates anywhere else in Thrakratha by just a ridiculous amount. Except pretty large city, and all the other towns in the area are like a couple thousand residents at most, whereas Grodalia is much more.
Yeah.
So the way that the culture kind of spreads.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're familiar with the alcohols and the way that they do it. They're not exactly the same. They're mixed slightly differently.
Yeah.
But you do manage to get something that you're relatively familiar with.
It's like craft beer to vodka, but starting at vodka.
Oh, I almost had it. Is there anything else you'd like to do this night?
Yes.
I'm gonna get my full 4 hours.
4?
Yeah.
God,
Where?
so demanding.
Where?
This is a tavern, so there's drinks going on, people talking. That, and maybe just walk around the streets and whatnot, just hearing the hubbub.
Okay. Roll a perception check for me.
Perception, my weakness. Using my eyes.
Oh, that's a weakness.
I need specs. You said perception, yeah? That's a 2.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
That's a 2.
Yeah.
You don't catch a whole lot of anything particularly useful, unfortunately.
Damn.
Why did you do that? You know that hurts you.
Well, glass. Continue.
You enter your rooms.
That took me too long to realise Josh was wearing lens glasses.
Yeah. You enter your rooms. Well, actually, the 4 of you enter rooms. Silkus has disappeared somewhere. You're not entirely sure where it's gone.
I just highlights out. I just want to go down for some drinks. Don't mind me.
And you enter the room that you've been given with the key that you have. The single key. If you lose this, it's it.
Yeah.
And you see one wall with a nice large arched window and some pretty eloquently, elaborately created curtains hung by a really nice, almost mahogany style curtain rod over the window. It does have wooden shutters that are currently open, airing the room out. A tiled floor all over the room, and one spot kind of towards the center of the room, but on the side of the window, that has a small fire pit that's currently not lit, but
It's got no soot.
does have there's nothing in it. It's completely cleaned out. There is timber in there for you to light. It's quite a nice room, in all honesty.
For silver.
And as
Not bad.
you've kind of had your food and headed into the room, and it's gotten a little bit darker, you're starting to realize, those of you who aren't familiar with Thrakratha, you are starting to realize just how cold it's going to get tonight, and exactly why the fire pit is necessary. But you all bed down. Silkus, eventually you come back and bed down in your room.
During this night, as it's getting colder, I will take this opportunity to teach Sariel Druidcraft. As a cantrip, if that's one of the cantrips that you're taking. Are you taking Druidcraft as a cantrip? Okay, then I'll just
Didn't even know.
Take the opportunity to try to teach Sariel Druidcraft, but
Yeah.
she's all full up of magic for now.
Yeah, exactly.
Turns out one of my hands is flint, one of my hands is steel.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing. So
Well, now you've learned something. You
Now
did
I've
it.
learned-
I honestly thought Druids got that for free, but
Maybe.
Maybe?
That might be a level 1 thing, actually, yeah.
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
we get the language for
But-
free.
I know it's a spell. I don't know if it's an innate spell to druids.
As you light the fire and you all bed down, the smoke of the fire starts to drift out the open window. You begin to sleep, and that is where we're going to take a break.
Dun dun dun. Give
Dun,
any
dun,
more
dun,
bullshit we're gonna go
dun,
through with
dun.
a break?
Absolutely none.
Oh, thank
None
God.
whatsoever.
Absolutely, that means he's got some.
He's got.
In case you were unaware
No,
of
it
how
doesn't.
Code Glen
I
works.
literally have nothing planned for
We
the
have a
mid-show
Code
after show
Glen.
game show.
In that case, if you've got questions for us as the cast or as our characters, feel free to ask us. There in chat, Theophania will compile those questions and send them over, and we will answer them for you in our mid-show, after-show.
It'd be nice for Silkus to get some questions.
We will be
when I'm
gone
here.
for about 5 or 10 minutes while some of us get dinner ready and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a nap.
Go to the toilet, get some popcorn, whatever you like to do. We'll be back soon. I'm waiting on you to fuck something up for me here, Josh.
I mean,
I
there's
don't
no tradition
fuck
for this
on
one.
purpose.
Yeah, but he always does anyway. See you shortly.
Is this like a
Okay.
Machop Machoke situation? Does your brother have 4 arms?
This is he's a Machamp.
Okay.
Andrew is a Machamp.
Give him references that he doesn't know because he doesn't really know much about Pokemon.
I'd like to point out Michael just described his older brother as the next Pokemon evolution from him, which is such an apt description. Anyone who's ever met the both of them knows.
Which here I
But-
think is only you and me, but yes.
Yeah, here
What a
it
good
is.
inside joke.
Yeah.
My imagination is so vast.
Welcome back. We are back.
Oh, thanks.
And we're taking questions.
Oh, question.
Oh, we are putting on an accent now.
I guess we are.
What have I told you about that?
This is a different accent, though.
Okay, absorb that one.
Oh, God.
Please absorb this accent, Silkus.
Yeah, no, I'm going to have a stroke.
quite easy. Just absorb
the
accent. There
I think
You're
I
a
can take
super
it.
crazy mad scientist.
I think I can
Don't
take
say
that on.
blah, blah, blah.
That might be a bit difficult.
I have started something.
We have broken the mics.
I love it.
The audience has
I
come
can't wait
deaf.
for him to try and do Silkus in 10 minutes or so,
Oh, God.
or 20 minutes or so, and
One
just
time, Glenn has
go
been...
crazy German scientist.
I can't do German. I'm really trying, though.
In my defense, the first time that you actually absorbed one of my accents, you weren't doing an accent for your character at all.
But your voice was
I was-
monotone, and
I
mine
was-
was monotone. so
I was
just worked
playing
with it.
Bernard.
Yeah.
I was playing Bernard, and he had a really outrageous accent that apparently I can't do anymore.
And I played a very short sentenced, human just called, what was he called?
Fade.
Fade. Fadrium. But Jeff. And he's just like, hi,
Jeff,
that's what I do. And that was it. Monotoned. He goes monotoned, I start picking up the fucking accent. And I break character halfway through because I'm just like, fuck. What's our questions, boy?
Josh is the ultimate accent sponge.
Oh, I wish that was true.
I truly wish that I was better at accents.
So do I.
So does everyone else.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I have a website.
I get to
You
listen to
know-
myself through the own resonance of my skull, which is fantastic. I still know that I'm shit at accents. I can't imagine what it would be like sitting at this table
Do
having
you
to listen to it.
remember what I said about accents the other day? I was here?
Yeah, I do. I'm still deeply hurt by it.
Every single Australian I hear do an accent just sounds like an Australian trying to do an accent.
That's
It's-
because
it's
that's
not-
what it is.
Yeah, but you don't actually, you guys, no Australian I've ever met sounds like an Irishman when they try to sound like an Irishman. They sound like an Australian trying to be Irish.
My defense, my accent is
Clearly
Irish.
never met an Australian who's good at doing an Irish accent.
Clearly,
I
that's
think
exactly what she just
that is
said.
the point.
Yeah, but there are those people. Those people do exist. Is
Yeah,
what
but
I'm
I've
trying
never
to
met
say.
them, you see.
Yes, well, you see, Australians are known for our ridiculous accent work, both in Australia and in America, where I don't know what that accent is, but god damn it, the good place, you need to fix it.
I believe it's a Northern Territory accent.
No,
No?
it's Sydney based.
Oh, God. haven't watched
Cheaty
it.
apparently taught at the University of Sydney, which doesn't seem right now that
No.
I've said it out loud.
Okay, questions, please. Let's...
Well, currently we have none, so
Oh, good.
we're just kind of chatting. I'm
Cool.
happy to continue
So,
chatting.
how do you guys think
is nice.
Oscar's campaign's going so far?
Yeah, how do you think my campaign is going?
It could
so
use
far?
more persuasion rolls. But, that's just my critique.
How do you do about 15 today? Okay, stop
That was
complaining.
3! I counted them. That's the most I've had of this entire campaign
That's the
in one
highest roll you've
session.
ever had.
It's not wrong.
Go on.
I was so confused. I was like, my mug in my hand?
Wait, what?
You don't even have your mug in this room.
No, I don't.
That's a
That was
glitch.
intentional
That's a glitch.
in the Matrix.
Yeah.
What were you going to say, Michael?
I just find it funny how. So I had a look at the translated sentence, the Banderilli one, and apparently there's a Tokipona translator out there which spits out gibberish, which is unfortunate.
That is, but
It is unfortunate,
at the
but
same
I
time,
also
that's
didn't
perfect.
want to. I was going to ask
Yeah.
you how to translate it, and then Anna found that, and I was like, Sure, I'll use that. Fuck it. That way I don't spoil you.
Yeah.
But next time, I'll ask Michael. Because I probably won't know Pokey Toner by then.
Is that the next evolution of Andrew?
Pokey Toner. It would only be better if his name was Anthony instead of Andrew Pokey Tony.
That just sounds like a pedophile.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's a good thing his name's not Anthony.
Problem solved.
Yeah, there
More
was,
problems created.
yeah.
So,
Opinions on this campaign.
I find it interesting.
Good.
It's there's a few like
Interesting as in like the I'm at the family dinner kind of interesting, or interesting.
Interesting in the sense that we say it in a way that makes you get more imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Yes. No. Exactly. Please don't tell me you ruined the book.
no, I won't tell you.
there's so much gravy on Silkus's robes.
Like that's.
I was
I think the
messing
heat's
with
just
you.
made some of the no, the heat on the plastic on the contact has made it bubble a little bit. I didn't realize that was a
because it's
thing.
not a placemat. I'm not sure you're aware of that, but it's a book.
It did
Yeah,
really well.
that's
though.
your placement.
I miss that all the time though.
Yeah, exactly. It'll stay clean.
It's not clean at all. It's filthy. No, what I was saying though, interesting is it's the writers I find interesting.
The writers.
And
Thank you. I'm glad you find me interesting.
I mean, it's about time I found something interesting about you.
Oh, dude.
I'll accept that.
Oh. There's so much shade. I was actually cold yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was 38 degrees in the warehouse
Oh
yesterday.
god, that is the worst. But no, what I was saying though is the writers. What I find interesting that they've caused. There's a lot of talk about them from Fenrir. A lot of that kind of discussion, and there's like apparently meant to be a lot of effect. However, many people don't know anything about them until we brought them up. It's interesting. Like I'm curious to know what is their end game. That's my thing. I'm
To be
curious to know
fair,
where
I think the
that goes.
reason most people don't know about them is because the only dude to write about them was a children's author. And the only dude to read that book, if he lived in modern days, would be set up in an RV outside Area 51.
Yeah, but
They exist, I tell you! They exist, they're real!
I guess the thing is, if they had always been this active, I would have expected more people to write about them.
Yeah, so like they're quiet, but then all of a sudden they attack Chimera of all places, and then all of a sudden it's like I'm curious why they were there in the first place, right?
Yeah, like maybe it is involved in Archibald's backstory nonsense.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I mean, they did take him, right?
Specifically Archibald.
I mean, it makes sense.
Well,
Think
I mean,
about it.
Archibald
think that
has
taking him was intentional.
very mysterious backstory nonsense, which is
Yeah.
absolutely connected to some high up stuff. So
Yeah, and I mean, like,
yes,
it only happened once we actually met Archibald. Silkus, he's just doing his normal thing. He's
Blame
he's just
the
a son,
amnesiac.
right? He's just a guy. But then also with this guy with some interesting like
Say powers.
Designs?
I know you wanted to.
and
Say
I mean the
powers.
powers are just generic. They're the spells.
How
And
dare you?
the design though is different, is interesting, and the fact he has no memory, and that's when we have this attack. A part of me thinks, sure, could be connected, right? But that also seems lazy writing. So my,
So they could be
being
connected.
part of lazy writing. What about not being connected?
I mean, no, if it's not connected, that's more interesting because then there's just coincidence, and coincidences are very fun to have.
Hannah is
I can't
sewing
wait for you
the
to actually
cuff
find
of
out all
her
this.
jersey, Anna.
Sorry.
Read your chat.
What is Hannah sewing? What did you say you were sewing?
The cuff of my jersey.
Oh, I'm fixing it.
Oh, I just closed the thing. I'll get it back.
Whilst
can't wait for
listening
you
to
all to
my
find
friends
Yeah.
babble.
I mean, I was curious. Like once we defeated Pestilence, I was thinking we were gonna then have to figure out like, okay, what's our next goal? We had a few things we could do. We could get some jobs. Then all of a sudden, war attacks, and I'm like, okay, so something is bigger here. And it's like I'm trying to figure out what is their end game or what is their plan. Is this just like, have they made a stance towards us, or because it was a power play, when he came in there. He could have just simply gone bam. Didn't even need to go that direction.
Did
Yeah.
Josh damage his book? How is everyone finding their books?
No, I did not damage my book.
I haven't found my book in
Next
several
question.
weeks.
Right.
Yes.
It took me like Tuesday. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, I'm finding the books really cool, and it's really neat to have like going from like generic character sheet, maybe like another page to like lots of detail, lots of places. It's like this is actually like really neat, and I need to like update my play style to actually be able to take advantage of it properly.
I have a dog head on my knee.
Oh, lucky you.
I had my only thing is I got to remember what spells are prepared, because like there's no like little tags on them and be like, oh, these are the ones I've prepared. So I've had to take a mental note.
The
and
reason for that is
difficult.
that fitting all your spells into the book would have been so many pages of
oh,
shit.
absolutely.
Um,
It's difficult because it's every
and
day.
it's either like we list every single wizard spell,
Yeah.
or we constantly update the damn thing with what you want.
That's why personally
it's
I
like-
do like using the app that I have, because that does have like a list for prepared stuff, so I can just
I'm
tag
fine
that.
with you guys using the app. That's
But
not a
I
problem.
also don't want to use that.
You could
because
dry
I
erase
use-
over the sleeves.
I
point.
pretty much just only have like the set level of spells. I just keep them consistent throughout all my spellcasters. Yeah, I know that's not how you're supposed to play anything but a sorcerer, but
Impressive that you managed to do that, going from a wizard to a druid.
yeah, like druids. Yeah, they've got a library card, but Varamus has only memorized 12 of the books. So.
It's just So how do you find playing Druid compared? Like, is it just
It's different.
more difficult or just different?
I
you
don't
played
like
the
not
druid?
having arcane recovery. Let's just say that.
I haven't used that yet.
There are a
I've
lot of
used that
spells
once.
that carry across between the two classes. But I think, honestly, there's more magical potential in a druid than there is in a wizard.
I mean, they are pretty powerful towards the end,
Yeah.
especially one goddamn thing. Unless you're talking about a
Both of them
certain
are pretty fucking powerful towards the end of all
Yeah.
this.
yeah, but then unless you're talking about a certain broken subclass for wizard.
Anna says write a P or something and dry erase on top of the spells you have prepared, so you know you have them prepared.
Thank you, thank you, moderator.
One last question before
Oh, we got a question.
we come back to the game.
What is everyone's health at?
Yeah, what is that?
Now
one called?
half.
Please tell me.
I have
Let me know.
mate. You don't need to know. It's still on like.
What were you just doing, dog? Sorry, she just about knocked my PC tower over. What are you doing?
Mate, mine's not even half of a.
What are your
Triple
thoughts
digits.
on besides the horseman? What
Well-
are your thoughts so far on the direction of the campaign
West.
and the pace of the campaign?
East.
Well, being honest, I'm a guy that does like with D&D is to start off small and have multiple choices. I like that idea. I
And
don't
then
like.
we get into the short answer questions, and then the essay questions.
Yeah, actually, in a sense, yeah,
and
that's
the
kind of how I
oral
like
exam,
it. It lets it build up, and you get
Major work project.
yeah,
Major work project.
and then you finally pass or cry and fail, and that's when you start your character.
You'll be crying and failing, yes.
Yeah, that's my personal take. That's what I like. It's not that I don't mind this. It's just I'm thinking to myself, okay, there's the hunters, but that's all we know at the moment. We don't know anything
No,
else.
no,
Of the
there's the
hunter. We're the
calamities.
hunters.
We're the hunters.
We're the hunters. Right. There's the calamities, and that's all we know for that is the calamity. I'm not sure like what else there is because we haven't seen anything else interact per se. We haven't interacted with some guilds that we probably meet. Like for example, in the last town we're at. I can't remember what it's called.
Yong.
Thank you.
Yong.
Thank you.
No.
You can remember it because it's the starting sound of a beacon powering up in Minecraft, which goes to show how much time I've spent playing Minecraft this week.
Wow.
I know,
yeah, it's
because
just that
every
kind of
time
thing.
I go to make Jesse do something, he says, no, I'm playing Minecraft, and Glenn's on.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing. That's just my opinion. I don't know what you guys are about.
One of the
I think that's a good point. I'll let you speak shortly. I think that's a good point.
Wow.
I would also like to point
You
out
don't usually get allowed.
that you haven't spent much time in the city yet.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair.
You kind of spent a little bit more time in Yuln. You spent like no time in Chimera, the biggest city on the planet.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of that.
Yeah, I want to build off that point once we get to it.
You spent like no time in there. You spent a short amount of time in Yuln, and then you head out, and you haven't spent much time anywhere in particular, so you haven't really taken the time.
Yeah.
I've had things prepared. Definitely had multiple choices of things that you can do. You haven't had to pursue the horsemen all the way. There have been times where you've had hooks thrown at you, but you're pretty steadfast in your dodging the hooks.
I mean,
Fuck you, Sky
tried.
Fisherman!
Well, that's the thing. Like, when we had obviously we had no choice with Archibald gone. And
I mean, you
Fenrir.
did.
We legit do not. We've spent like a month with him, so we, and he has to, be hit
Answer
for
for his
being
crimes.
hypocrite, for saying, oh, you shouldn't have run off by yourself. Then do exactly that.
Yeah.
I need to slap him in the back of the head for that. So
Yeah.
I will go across the world for that.
So you're gonna travel across the
Out of
world
spite.
just out of spite.
Yeah,
You're gonna rescue me out of spite.
yeah.
Find him when he's on 1 hit point, slap him in the back
That's
of
what
the
I was
head.
just thinking.
If it's stupid and it works,
Guys.
it's not stupid.
Can you
Hey.
see this little face right here?
No,
No.
you have to
No.
pan across.
Can't see it.
I don't think any panning's happening today.
Oh.
No.
That's okay.
Is this little face
Oh, I can
on the
just. I
cushion
think I
like
can just see
staring
that.
at
Yeah,
you
I can see the snoot.
Yeah.
But I would invite you guys to take opportunities as you see them. Because a lot of the time I have stuff prepared for side things or other main quests. With the last, we had a hub episode. I think it was episode 21 or 22 or both. I think it was
That
both of
started
those,
off
actually.
as one.
And it's our first main hub episode where you've been able to kind of pick whatever direction you wanted to go and take it. After you went the whole week without thinking about certain things, discussing certain things, I was like, fuck it, I'm throwing war at them. And so
I mean,
it's
that's
kind
the
of
thing.
like,
But we did.
you have places you can go.
Yeah.
You both have things you want to do.
True.
Archibald has places he wanted to go.
It's just I
He's
think
dead now, he can't go there.
That's true.
Sariel's kind of at a loose end at the, or was at a bit of a loose end at the time, but now is no longer at a loose end.
Yeah.
Now you've got motivation.
Spite.
I want to go to the same place Silkus wants to go, I think.
Spite.
Oh, spite.
You want to go to Spite.
That is
Oh,
what they
I
call
want to go to is it Wildervale?
Windvale. Yeah,
Wildevale.
yeah, Windvale.
There's no end
No, I
in
think
that
there
word.
is. I think there is. I hear it.
Yeah, one thing that weirds me out about D&D campaigns is, like you said, we started in Chimera, this grand majestic city. And then you decided to make me a wanted man. You made him deeply unhappy. You made her need to leave.
I mean, I wouldn't.
You're here too, but
That's very true. You came out of
Now-
nowhere.
I can't remember. But I can't remember because I don't have my notebook anymore. But are we not allowed back to Chimera?
Oh no, we're
Is that
allowed.
the thing?
We're not
Okay.
allowed back.
Hey?
Okay. To be fair, the reason
We've
why we
been-
left.
Hang on. I have my notebook.
The
You
reason
were
why we
advised
left,
by the Mestrial not to go back
advised because where we
because of the situation with Liari.
Yeah, but before that we were fine.
Okay.
So you that's another thing you could have done in those hub episodes was
Somebody
Consult
came
Liari.
and stole
He
him
did
or
try.
something,
Archibald
right?
did try.
Yeah,
Remember,
I-
he did go to the church.
during the early parts of the week. Yes.
I did kind of.
I
Didn't
said
somebody
every day.
come and steal him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did
He
kind of
Chimera.
assume
Yeah,
that
it was the Chimera.
the priests
Chimerians.
was going. It'll take about a week for him to be okay again. So I did kind of assume that we were spending
Yeah.
a week waiting for Liari to
We
be.
ended up
You also
consultable.
you
We
also
spent 2
found
weeks,
out
didn't we ended up spending 2 weeks, I think.
I have a note that
So-
says Cat is Glenn's new
you also
character.
found out that Liari was taken
Yes.
And
we're not-
that was another thing you potentially could.
Yeah.
So in
that's
my
fair.
mind, the idea with that was they find out Liari's been taken. Archibald and Fenrir get kidnapped. Maybe Liari, being close to or being very physically close to Pestilence for a large amount of time, would know something.
I guess one thing for me is I just wasn't there for that. So
Yeah.
so it's not.
But
in
these
my
are things
forefront.
that these are things that can happen.
Oh, yeah.
And like I've given you ways that you can go, but you've continued this way, which is fine. This is the way you've chosen to go. This is the way I'm going to keep throwing at you.
To be fair, I have no choice.
You could choose to ride to Grodalia now if you want to,
Yeah.
or you could try and get this teleport.
Here's the thing.
We could choose to take a boat back to Chimera if we wanted to.
Yeah, you can go
No
fucking
more
anywhere you
boats.
want.
No more.
You like to see my
fucking
notes for this
boats.
session?
Hey,
Notes for this session?
I'd like to
Yes,
swim
throw it
back.
away.
That I got to here in 10 minutes.
It's like, I'd like to swim back to
Right.
Chimera.
Oh god. I see. Like, the way we started, the reason why we left Chimera was Silkus. He just offered, like, hey, I can do this stuff for you guys. I can help Sulfur. That I'm going this way though. If you guys want to come with, fine. And I guess we just went that way. So we had a chance to do something else. It was
You've had
it's just an
chances
option,
to do
really.
quite a few things.
Yeah, so I guess we kind of do a little bit of a tunnel of our own. Like, we just, if we're not thinking of these multiple choice, because I don't know, for me, it's like I love multiple choice, but it needs to be somewhat in front of me and, like, you know, hit
It
me in
needs
the
to be
face.
obvious
kind
for Josh.
Yeah, because I'm stupid.
He needs
So-
a mini map, is what he's saying.
And a quick save. And
He's me in Dark Souls.
He
You need
needs,
to put
he
it
needs
right
a
in front of
quest
his
list.
face.
Yes, I
Can we
do.
unlock fast travel this session?
Hey, that's what you're working on.
Hey, once I'm level 10,
Literally
I can do
what you're
that.
working on.
When I get to level 10, I'll be able to do that. Teleportation circles. I'll be able to do it. At some point. Unless you
I
decide to do
Can't
that.
wait.
Can't wait for
Level
you to
9,
find
level
out that unregistered teleportation is illegal.
Oh god. Yeah, that's cool. Let's get into that.
I can't wait.
I'm not
There is
not
so
Oscar.
much
I don't know
more.
if that's true.
There is so
but
much
also
more.
probably is.
Yeah, right.
There is so much more for you guys to figure out, and
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get to that point.
Like, there's
But
one thing I
first-
want to get. Sorry, I just want to say
Cans
one
of
more thing.
worms.
I do want to get to like a point with the characters to get to understand a bit more about John, because for the most part,
You're only 24 episodes in.
yeah, which has been about a month or so. That's when you kind of get to know a lot of people.
You got
Yeah.
it.
I think we're
we
about
kind
to
of-
find out a lot once we fast travel to John's home.
Oh, I wonder where that
You're
is.
literally going to the place where
Wait, that's actually where it is.
John is
Wow.
from.
I have said so.
You said that?
He has
My
said
home
he's
is
from
Grodalia.
Grodalia.
Was that on a one when I was around?
Yes.
Please. Oh, fuck, I'm horrible.
It was
Okay.
4 times when you were around.
Those are the ones that I particularly.
However,
favored.
thank you to everyone in chat who submitted questions, queries,
Did
anything
we
of the sort.
actually get any?
We are going to get back into the game.
Cool.
Cool.
Get your-
Cool.
get your
That's what you
head in
have
the
to
game.
say to that. You have cool to say to that.
I mean, it's cool, is it not? Yeah. Get pumped.
Get your head in the game. We want get your
Please don't
get
break
your
another
head in the
pencil.
game.
I still have this one.
Hang on.
Give me that. Oh yeah, no, never mind.
That's a broken one. No, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not breaking
No, no,
anything.
no.
Do
we
you
don't trust
do you
you.
own the pencil that's in your hand?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I know that's a lie.
Yeah.
Give me that fucking pencil.
That's alright. I got this, guys.
Thank you.
Got this.
Yeah, I have 2 pencils now.
Hey, everything's coming up. Millhouse.
You, the Calamity Hunters, have
Right, thanks.
arrived at Port Dekar in Thracaratha, the very southwesternmost reaches of the Thracarathan continent, and discovered that it was covered in a 2-foot sheet of ice over the whole town, the whole port town. You encountered one person hiding in their house who directed you to the north of the town, where you then met with Lieutenant Unkep,
That's a good name.
discovering about the travel options to Grodalia, couple weeks by horseback or almost instantaneous by teleportation, which unfortunately is not authorized currently. The lieutenant said that he may be able to send a representative to discuss your teleportation into the city if he felt you trustworthy and worth the effort.
If we did his bitch work.
Exactly.
I mean,
Helping
was
out around the
necessary
town,
bitch work.
considering the tragedy and considering what you explained your goal to be, he figured he'd be happy to help if you were happy to help.
Please, it's tragedy, not a bitch work.
You helped up.
Yeah,
you
but
helped with the
We're
clown.
doing his job.
You helped with the clown team up. You helped with the town cleanup.
The clown team up.
Silkus and Varamas helping to clear the iced up roads,
Definitely
and
counting.
Sariel and John helping to find trapped or otherwise in hiding civilians who may have been caught in the midst of the horsemen who rode through and its effect.
You're the worst.
Wow, how are you
I'm
so
glad
bad?
that he is now saying it is a horseman rather than a person riding through on a horse, which confirms it is in fact one of the calamities. Thank you, Oscar.
Technically, any
mean,
man
yeah.
riding a horse is a horseman.
Yeah, but you haven't.
No.
You were referring to it
Do you want me to
as
refer to them as
a
steedmen
hooded figure
instead?
on a horse. You were not referring to it as one of the horsemen.
Well, what if it's a woman though?
Rider.
It
To
can't
be
a
fair,
horseman.
they've been referring to them as riders as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been a mixed bag. Regardless,
It's all purposely
Calling you
tricking
mixed
us.
bags now?
you helped with the town cleanup. I said it right this time. And Silkus reported back to Lieutenant Anquette, who acknowledged the work that the four of you had done. Before the rest of you headed to sleep for a night's rest in one of the inns surrounding the town square. Now, you start to fall asleep as the cold air blows in through the window.
I have a
Your
wolf,
fire
I'm good.
sputters out.
I relight it. Because I'm trancing.
Is anyone doing anything this night?
I am trancing.
Hugging my wolf because she warm.
Okay.
I am.
Yeah, I'm probably just sleeping. Do you mean like during
During
the
the
night?
night. Yeah.
No.
We are connected. I know
Unless
it's stupid as
obviously
we've been
something
doing,
wakes
but we
me
are
up.
connected on Brawl, yeah.
Currently, yeah.
Okay, good. Scratching my quill as always. It's a habit. And
That's why he uses his own room, guys.
yeah, this is the reason. I'm going to. Do I have a window in my room?
Yeah.
Can I just, while I'm writing down whatnot, can I just actually look out the window and see if I see people and just see what's happening?
I mean, out the other side of is another kind of main road style thing. It's, again, they're not particularly large, but you see the occasional person walk by. It is far too cold for most people to be out at night, and you're feeling it biting cold as especially with the wind that's coming through, that's just channeling down these streets.
I've had worse.
It is very cold.
Okay. Do I? So I see like guards and more just random.
Yeah, you see a patrol every now and again.
Okay.
Most of them wield a slender curved scimitar at their hip. No shields for the most part. Some guards you saw earlier during the day had shields, but the ones on patrol don't. A lot of them are just holding torches or lanterns of some sort.
I take note that Sarah must have grabbed them at some point.
Yeah, all of them. Every single
every
one.
shield.
But for the most part, not much activity. Just the occasional
Nothing suspicious.
light coming by as a guard walks past with a torch, keeping himself warm.
Is it like? Does it sound like it's busy downstairs, or is it just kind of getting?
At this point, it has died down quite a lot.
All right, I'm just
People
gonna
have headed home.
go back to my work, and I'll probably go to sleep soon after.
Okay.
Yeah.
You all get a long rest.
Yeah.
Which I know is pretty important to some of you.
Get your spells back,
Yes.
buddy. You did it.
Yes.
You slept.
No, I didn't.
Get my 1 hit point back.
You fake slept.
I tranced.
Fake slept.
Which is a series of complex mental exercises that elves do at night because they're nerds.
Well, you
Fucking
you can do them as an option.
No, Eladrin have to trance. If they don't trance, they fart in their sleep.
New discovery. If he falls asleep, he farts.
It's fucking canon.
So it was by himself.
If
that's all.
Eladrin don't trance, they fart in their sleep. They get real bagged ass.
Heavy mental work doesn't keep it in.
I was wondering what the ruling that was that made it so that you had to sleep, because there's no one in the books, but I guess that's it. Like, don't sleep.
Yeah.
You don't trance. Yeah, that's the danger.
Taking notes.
You get a negative modifier to your constitution.
Legitimately
when
just
you
made that
sleep
as a note in my
Eladrin.
Oh my god.
You want to hear me say those words.
The sun comes up very early in the morning
That's the
compared
worst.
to what you're used to. You are very close to the equator here. And it begins heating up the roads pretty damn quickly.
Great.
I'm
A lot
out for
of
a
you-
walk.
Yeah. The
Might go
one,
out
those of
and
you
join
who
you.
are asleep on top of the covers, well, actually, well and truly under the covers,
Yep.
start to sweat bullets and drench your bed sheets.
Am I able to multiclass into a gunslinger? Just for infinite ammo. Also, I'll probably be up at the same time as him. I'll probably go for a
Certainly
walk.
try. You gonna go walk together, or are you avoiding that?
I'll get up and I'll probably see him there, and I'll be like, I might start strolling. Go for a
We'll
stroll.
walk out of the room at the exact same time. You'll see me before I see you, and your door just closes again.
Not today.
You two go for walks as the sun comes up.
Just gonna see.
The two of you,
what's
as
the
the room heats up, begin to sweat through your sheets, and eventually stir and wake.
Is the other,
These two are not currently here, or at least Varamas isn't here, and you don't know if Silkus is present in his room.
I'll say like when I got, I was like, see him, I was like, oh, the other others asleep.
Yes, they do that. One's a human and one's a half-elf, so they like to do that whole sleeping thing.
I don't really have an option.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a shame. It's really good to have an option.
Yeah, well, shut up.
I'm gonna go for a quick walk around, see what there is. You wanna
Okay.
join me?
Sure.
I'd like to fancy
building.
have some information from the druids.
Is this how awkward their friendship is in real life?
Absolutely.
Probably. Wait. Yes.
Just proving it.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to go for a walk.
Yeah, I
Okay.
want to see what it's like in the morning.
And this is showing how much of a good actor I am, because I'm going to act a conversation taking place in the morning. Which, as everyone knows, is not my strong suit.
No,
No, it really isn't.
Glenn doesn't usually get past the first two words. You head out for a stroll.
Pretty well.
The two of you. You see the last guard shift from the night wrapping up. And a number of people as the sun is coming up, as it's getting bright. A large number of people who went to bed early last night, as you discovered from how early the tavern area was empty.
Like outlaws.
Yeah. Are up very early,
Goddamn nanny state.
going about their business, getting to work. And the streets are not crowded, but there are more people in the streets at 4 a.m. than you would otherwise expect.
Fair enough. I guess while we'll make a walk, I'm like, Vadimus, I'm just curious. Why did you actually decide to come and help us?
You people needed help, and it's kind of what I do. Ever since I started becoming steel, I've just decided I can help people. I've got the ability to, so I'm going to.
That's actually interesting because I didn't actually know that was a thing that druids could do.
Yes, well, it was an extremely long and complicated series of unfortunate events that transpired to make me who I am today.
Oh, did it cost you a movie in a Netflix series?
It did, actually.
That was horrible.
That was a little bit upsetting, both the way that you said that and the thought of it. But
Jim Carrey does that to all.
yes, I did have a very promising career before this, and now I am on the road.
He's an actor.
I'm not an actor.
So what did you do before?
What's the best way to put this so I don't ruin any grand reveals later on?
Simple, straight to the point is what I like.
A cheesemaker.
I was investigating various methods of creating umbral weaponry.
Really?
Yes.
You're a blacksmith or a tinkerer?
Yes.
Both.
Yes.
He's the reason Archibald has tattoos.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Interesting. So what made you want to try to do that?
Seemed like fun.
You seem to be the kind of... I mean, you strike me more of an impulsive person.
I'm a fairly impulsive person by nature. As you can tell, I'm
What are
spring.
you now? Okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'm spring at the moment. So this is the one that feels right for me for most of the time. I like going with the flow, and as the chaos from where my ancestors grew up taught me, it's good to just be adaptable.
I can
And so
respect
now I am being adaptable.
that. I can actually really understand that. It's adaptable. It's interesting. So you kind of take that to the literal fact. I like that.
Yes,
So
as a legend are prone to do that.
I don't really have much experience talking, just having discussions with Elijah and myself. So I think he's the first one I've actually met. Okay.
Yeah.
They're not all that common.
I would have, I guess, because my father is up high in Camellia, I guess I would have. I don't know. I have no idea where I'm going with this. That's just finally.
I was wondering why we'd walk down this dead end alleyway. For a fleeting
take out a knife.
for a fleeting moment, I thought you were going to kill me.
Only fleeting moment.
Okay.
So, I was just talking with the other two last night, and what's your plans for after you've helped us? Do you have anything? I assume you wouldn't. After
No.
our talk, after our discussion, I presume. not.
I genuinely don't plan more than a day ahead of my life. Currently,
Kinda
my
get that,
only
yeah.
plan is help you guys find what appears to be your best friend.
Well, that's. I'll tell you a secret here.
From across the town, you hear Gon go.
I'll tell you a secret. They don't really know about this. I don't really actually have any friends.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I'm really glad I was muted because I just made the biggest snorting sound.
I mean, I don't want to seem rude. While I like you, you're hard to get rid of, and we just really met. I'm not really one that makes friends that easily.
I've known you for a few days. I've known you for a couple of weeks, actually. I just forgot about the 9 days that we spent on the boat.
Look, I gotta be honest. Most of that time, I was out of it.
I noticed, but at the same time, I thought we were becoming friends.
Well, that's lovely to think. And
You've
I'm
also
not
got
saying that's
John and
impossible.
Sariel.
I mean, they're all right. I mean, John has interesting ways about him, and as does Sariel. They've got interesting attributes, but I wouldn't really call them friends. I wouldn't.
Why not? I
From
think at this
across
point
the
they
town,
would...
you hear a very angry, like,
It's
howling, hissing sound.
It's not really anything bad about them per se. It's just I have my reasons, and I personally
There's a
don't
lot.
really.
So you've got some walls up. You built them big, you built them strong.
As thick as probably as thick as those 2 meter ice that we took down. Possibly. I wouldn't really say it's walls. It's
Bigger
just
by the moment.
yeah, that's
I
it.
thought I fixed that yesterday.
Oh great, we're gonna do it.
um,
It's no offense to them. They're lovely people. I just don't really
I got a question for you.
Me than anything.
Got a question for you.
I
Would you? You've totally absorbed my accent by this point.
swear to God.
But
It's getting
My-
further away if I kick it.
stop kicking it then.
Yeah. It gets out of the. Thank you.
That's why we have them.
We have a stockpile here for this
Don't give
exact
him
reason.
another one. That's a really bad idea.
I've got a question for you.
Make him use crayons.
I hope I have an answer. Excuse you.
Would you die to save them?
She's excused.
Sorry?
Would you die to save Sariel and John?
I'd prefer to, No, I wouldn't. I'd rather live to save them. To die is... You don't have much... You can't do anything after. If you die and it's for naught, then there's no point to death.
If you had to die to save them, who would you choose? Yourself or them?
Oh, I'll choose them. Obviously.
They're your friends. Because they would do the same to you.
Varamus, explaining friendship.
Paramus is very qualified to
I'm
explain
gonna-
friendship.
So, do you have any friends, then? Besides, obviously, I guess, us three, or four, including
I've
Sulfur.
got lots of friends.
Are they just ones that you meet along the way?
Yeah.
Do you have anyone that you actually have kept in contact? Anyone that you've actually...
Yeah, I keep
Long
in contact
lasting.
with quite a few of them. I got friends all over. You never know when you might end up back in town and want to catch up with them. People change all the time.
Well, that's... I guess that's very true in your case, definitely. So if we were to, let's say we found our companions Archibald and Fenrir, and we asked if you'd like to stay along. No, I'm not going to be saying for them. Obviously, this is a group decision, if anything. But just putting out the idea. Would you be against, or would you be for kind of staying around? Or would you decide to go your own way?
I'd
You can
be
go
happy to
your
stick
own
around for as
way.
long as the group would have me. But if there's someone else who needs my help, once you guys are back at your full calamity hunting power, then I don't see why I wouldn't help them. I'm sure as hell come back and give you guys a hand if you ever want to take out this icy motherfucker though.
Oh, it's much appreciated.
You're welcome.
Well, let's go and I'm kind of getting a bit hungry. Would like to go and get some breakfast?
Yes, I could definitely go for a 2x2x2x2.
You're also getting real fucking hot. As
I
the
mean,
sun
excuse
is,
you, that's just normal, okay?
as the sun is, we're getting higher in the sky.
Are you alright, Sokas? You look
I'm
a little
fine.
bit.
Look,
You
I'm
look
off
a
the
bit
boat.
peaky.
No, it's a bit of the elven skin. Glistens a little bit.
Sparkling in the sunlight.
Yes, along with my brooding.
I've noticed.
No, it's actually great. I would like, yeah. Let's see if I'm gonna try and look around see if there's any like local shops or anything like cafe style
You wanna
places. If there's anything
Have
about the
breakfast
tavern,
with Varamas in a,
yeah, go have breakfast with him. Why not?
in a hipster cafe.
Sure,
I find the hipsterish cafe.
he would.
In a port town, I know it's going to be difficult, but I will roll an
Roll an
investigation.
I'm
investigation.
sure
check
there's
for
something
me.
here. Something here. Oh
2.
boy.
2.
Can I assist him if we're both looking?
You find the hipsterish, the most hipster cafe that you can find.
Go, Silkus. Use your gentrification sense.
I'm sorry, what?
You just close
called
your eyes
Soto
and point
Sopa.
towards the poshest part of town.
I'm just gonna go out there and say that the tavern they find is called Soto Sopa. That is a South Park reference.
I don't know.
I wouldn't understand.
None of us will.
My sen-
You
Maybe
walk
Michael?
into what you believe to be
Do you want
the
South Park?
most hipster cafe that you can find,
Yeah, okay.
only
It's
to
full
discover
of sailors with full beards and drinking booze at 9 a.m.
exactly is what you discover.
Oh well.
You saw the full beards and like hipster beards? No, just big
If
beards.
you don't mind, I think I like to look somewhere else. Can I
Do
look
you
for
just want
somewhere
to go
else?
back to the hotel?
Not quite, honestly. I like to find something that's like establishment that's separate, because the quality of food's a lot better.
I'm going to ask
That's
you.
not what I've seen.
Says the person who's never been here before.
You go to one city, they're all the same.
Well, then why are you looking for somewhere else?
I will fucking kill you in your sleep.
You did it to yourself.
Probably, yes, I did. Okay. What are we doing?
What are you doing?
You know what? Give me 1 second. I'm going to use...
I definitely think that the others are waking up at this point, so we
Let's
should
just go
probably
back,
head
fine.
back.
That's
You
fine.
go back to the hotel.
God damn
You
it.
two have been awake for a little while now.
Yep.
Baramas and Silkus are nowhere to be seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the meantime?
So
Let's go have breakfast.
I assume those two are gonna come back at some point.
Bold of you to assume.
One can hope
Only
those
one comes
two-
back.
are gonna come back at some point.
5 weeks later.
So I guess I don't know. Do we have thoughts about plans when we get to Grodalia, assuming that we can get there today?
Well,
'Cause-
for a start, we better start calling you Jack.
yeah.
Other than that, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna Josh, so you weren't there I think when I mentioned this, but when John left Grodalia, he was a wanted criminal.
And we know about that.
Yes,
Yes.
it has been discussed.
And I'm hanging out with the criminal. Why?
You were hanging out with Archibald.
Yeah, that's a good point. Carry on. I mean, you know, he's...
To be fair, you've harbored more fugitives than anyone else this campaign.
Oh shit,
so
I had
far.
too. Actually, that's a good point. Well, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. Let's go. Okay.
See? Friends.
Anyway,
I got a reputation to man up. Actually, funny enough, his reputation is actually making friends everywhere, so that's fine.
Oh man.
Very similar, which is interesting.
I just realized on the stream that my shirt kind of blends into the wall, and I make no apologies for that.
Yeah, the shirt that I wore last week, same thing.
We really
Mine
shouldn't have
shows
swapped
up chest
shirts.
You two sit down for breakfast, and you get about halfway through your conversation when these two barge in.
So I say,
Silka.
the option.
Sario!
I'm on
John!
you're back.
Yes,
You had
indeed
a-
we are.
Run, walk.
Just a little stroll.
John, do you hop across town and back?
That was quite fun.
Yeah. Find some ice.
I don't know.
We weren't going for drugs. We were just going for fun.
As I kindly like just hide back, pack him up in my bag.
You're such a rich person.
Yeah, I won't go to
High
jail.
quality
I didn't think you would
cocaine.
have a chance.
I won't go to jail. I'll just go community service. It's fine.
have conversations.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
So,
Someone check the
Where's he
stats.
going?
He's letting us do bullshit. Great.
plan of action as far as searching around Grodalia, because like I know the city, but I don't know obviously where one might hide a kidnapped person there.
Well, I also have to think it's not just
Well, we can
any
always
person.
just ask around if anyone's seen a purple tiefling. They don't seem to be terribly common in this area.
That's true. Or
That's not
ask
bad.
about people who've seen war, because they are.
They'll probably get that confused with
Or
the
even
other rider,
people
though.
who have seen Archibald, because, I mean, his tattoos are pretty definitive.
Yeah.
He's, to be fair though, he had straps on, so we could say something about purple straps around his arms, covering his guards.
I think last time you told me about Archibald, they were royal blue.
Was it the straps were blue?
They were
Yes.
blue.
Oh, I thought the robe was. Anyway.
He likes blue.
From
Okay.
what you've told me in the past.
Well,
when we were on the boat
memory is a
having
tricky
chats
thing.
about your best friend who got kidnapped.
Well, hold on. Let me just remember this. And I cast Encode Thoughts. And the pops out like, yeah, actually, yeah, that's real blue. Okay. fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. So
from memory, it's like
I
there it
guess
is.
we'll be after
an
news of like people who have passed through, people who have seen like armored, mysterious riders in the surroundings. Grodalia is a big city that'll still be difficult to narrow down,
Yeah.
probably.
To be fair though, a lot of them might get confused with the one that we just encountered.
We're on the other side of
That
the
one
continent. It won't.
Yeah, and that one
gotta get my
wasn't
geography fixed.
heavily armored, I believe.
I think I'm
Hooded,
I'm
but
like
not
ship
fully
flagged or
armored.
something.
Ship lagged.
Well, that's a possible idea. Do you have any? Do you have anyone that you could talk to?
Yes.
Question mark.
Do I have
Question
contacts
mark
in Grodalia?
because I haven't spoken to any of them in about 6
history.
years.
Oh.
And also, me speaking to them will...
Never been here before.
And
Don't know
invite
Like-
everybody to realize that you are here and you're
Yeah.
a criminal.
Precisely. Like,
Right, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. So, because we have to start calling him Jack.
Ah, yes. That's probably a good idea.
given that, like,
Everyone,
there won't be people actively looking for me, but I don't want to spread my
And
name
we'll change
around.
his last name to Lawson.
Lawson? Jack Lawson.
Jack Lawson.
Do you want me to come up with the backstory? I'm good with that.
Jonathan Lawson.
I'm good if
Jack.
you need it. Yeah.
Jack Lawson.
Oh, Jackson. Jackson
Yeah.
Lawson. I could-
Jackson Lawson. That sounds great.
Johnson Lawson.
Johnson Lawson. Jackson
Hello,
Lawson.
my
III.
name is Johnson Lawson from Johnson Lawson's Law and Sons.
Do you have a law that you need?
Hi, I'm Bob Loblaw from Bob Loblaw's Law Blog.
If you need a backstory or something just to cover just in case of questions, I can come up with something pretty quickly.
I'm sure it's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah. So,
I also think that on the off chance that this guy doesn't manage to get us teleportation, we need to make a plan.
yeah.
I should actually. Yeah, we best. I'm gonna probably have to go to the
you
lieutenant
had
and talk about
wander
that.
around. We were mostly around the docks areas. Do you see any, like, stables or anything?
Did I see any staples?
Around the docks specifically?
Or no, just
Oh, from our
because
walk.
we were
Anywhere
around the
that
docks,
we-
so did they see any stables when they were not?
Yeah.
Roll perception
During
checks.
our walk, did we
Because
see
I'm
it?
assuming that I wouldn't have seen any stables
16.
around the docks.
17.
No, 14.
Also, assuming that
17.
the stables were not in the frozen part of town and the horses aren't all dead.
With that 17, like, see during the walk this morning.
Or during.
I'll say that
my-
you reached the the northern outskirts of the town.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe we
Okay.
could just grab it. It is like, what did they say? It was like weeks of a ride. I don't think we have that much time.
Hey, if that's what we have to do, we have to do it.
Yeah, we could ride. We could take another boat, head further up the coast, perhaps.
Well, let's put the boat
Although-
on the other option of.
I'm just
no.
saying we need to have a backup plan in case we can't get this teleportation to come through.
That is
Oh,
an
I
excellent
understand.
point. I agree.
I just think it's
I don't want us to be like putting all our eggs in one basket.
Oh, I understand that very much.
Why wouldn't you put all your eggs in one basket? That's where
So
they
you can count
go.
it at once, yeah. I get to what you're thinking.
We've only got so many hands. You need one for picking the eggs and then one.
Yes, well,
No,
I've had
sorry,
the
you
experience
guys are
where we
from
put all
you
our
guys are
eggs
from
in
the
one
material
basket,
plane where
and then
your
the
eggs
basket
don't grow on
disappeared.
trees.
At this stage,
That provides more questions than answers.
at this stage,
Oh,
you
God.
hear a kind of a grating noise as the door swings open, and
As Varamus is speaking.
in peeks Lieutenant Unket as he kind of opens the door and looks in, spots you, and is like, perfect, and strides in, closes the door behind him.
Right
He's
on
still
cue.
wearing like garishly bright armor.
Oh,
He's wearing his armor. It's a dull cream color,
Oh,
but it's polished, and so when the sun's on it, it is very
Ugh.
bright. But it's not like particularly garish. It's just it's a fairly simple single color with the unpainted trim on it. It's relatively simple design, but he comes in and says,
I meant bright as garish is bright rather than garish as and gross, by the way.
"Yeah,
Like hurtful to the eye.
there you are.
gonna need specs. So.
Ah,
I've been looking for
Oh,
you.
Lieutenant.
I didn't know which place you might be in, so
thanks for
Well,
taking
I've
the
been
time.
to a few.
Well, thank you very much.
I'm here to talk about what your goal is. You want teleportation to Grodalia, yes?
Yes.
As soon as possible, yes.
Well, I can send one of my representatives today. However, I would like to point out that without any formal recommendation or approval from someone respected,
Can I pull out the little thing that the lady gave us and be like this? The little Master Jarl's like symbol thing.
exactly like that,
We all have one.
We all have one.
That will make things a lot easier.
You can't have it because I can't.
Yep.
I want to keep it with me, but I can show you it.
No, that is okay. In that case, I will send a representative shortly, and we will get back to you in an hour or so with the information that Grodalia has provided us.
We're looking for a purple tiefling, a man covered in tattoos, and a guy who rides a horse completely covered in armor.
You can take that up with them when you arrive.
Perfect.
Okay.
Did you find any did you see any more people casualties and whatnot? Has everything kind of smoothed
No
out?
casualties,
Oh,
fortunately.
thank God.
Ah.
That's quite a relief.
Some people trapped, but the majority of the ones were freed by you, and
That's fantastic
that
news.
is appreciated.
Well done,
greatly.
you two.
Yeah.
Well
So I
done.
feel like this is more likely to be famine than it is to be death.
I mean, it might not even be anything associated with them. Could be just another rider with elemental powers. I'm just thinking broadly.
What is this speak of famine and death?
We're not really quite sure
Our
ourselves, honestly.
friend
It's just a nickname.
who was kidnapped,
It's just a
who we
saying.
were chasing, had done some research into them, and had given them broad nicknames based on the old tales, which we
Habits.
assume correspond to each of them.
It's all we got at the moment. It could not even be associated, honestly. We don't have enough.
From what we've
But
seen.
I mean, if you're
two of-
calling somebody death, you sort of assume that a trail of death would follow them, not a trail of ice. Whereas famine, freeze your food, maybe.
We had no casualties, but however, the creature rode straight through our exterior farms,
And
destroying many
I
crops,
see.
and
There we go.
also freezing
Famine.
over a lot of our fishing boats.
well, that's definitely on par with that.
Famine.
Yep.
All right, so that means it's most likely another horseman. Because
Well,
we don't know enough, honestly. We're really just chasing a trail.
I will leave
We
you
knew
to
that he was
converse over
deprived of
the
Please,
food.
thank you very much.
further plans. Will you be here in an hour?
Yes.
Yes.
I think we're going to be here for a
We'll
little
stay
while.
here and wait for you.
Yes.
If your plans change and you're elsewhere, meet me just across the way. In the large building, the biggest one. You'll see it.
Yep.
Spelled way.
Thank you. And he backs out.
Thank you. Right, well, that's interesting. So, it's definitely on point with what we already know. It does seem kind of weird that all of a sudden we just see them, and we're like, what do they want? That's I'm trying to find out. Like, we don't have enough answers. We only have one book. That's all we have that broadly mentions these horsemen. So it's got to be more. There's got to be more to this.
Really would have been nice if we'd been able to speak to Fenrir before all this. Oh well.
Well, the thing, I actually was talking to him during the week because I met him at a couple brothels, and he didn't.
I don't believe you did. Thank
We
you very
did.
much.
I watched it again.
You watched
We
it
did.
again, huh?
I said,
Going
I
back
said,
for your highlight reel?
How about you say a couple of
Go
establishments?
for my show
Because
reel.
I do not believe Fenrir would attend a brothel.
we.
And I will fight you on that.
Had
You
try
want to
and find
watch
the
the
rich boy.
recording? I remember the recording. I watched it twice because it was a great
pretty
moment.
sure. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, it's canon. It's been said.
No, it's been said in the past. Go on.
I saw him in a brothel, and as far as what I was aware, I mean, there was two ladies there. Anyway, and he didn't really say much. Like it was just a.
You broke him. You got him. Sorry.
So I don't really he didn't really have anything to say. Like, with just a bit of chat chat. I was actually wanting to get more information, but he didn't really say much. Then all of a sudden,
Get out.
I didn't really see him for a while, and then actually, it does remind me of something. I did inspect the initial attack from the wall where it was attacked, where War came from, and at that point in time, Fenrir was going back and forth prior, and it could have been that he decided to go back to where we fought Pestilence. Possibly. Seemed to be the direction. However, whether or not that is accurate, I don't know. But he wasn't with War when War came. He was actually, I believe he was before he actually came. It's almost like maybe he was on the run from War, possibly. I'm not quite sure. The guard was very vague on the information because there was so much going on. So I thought possibly. At first, I was thinking, oh, it has to be a power move. But the fact that he must have been chasing Fenrir then. Fenrir got a little too close, and he's now been taken. So Fenrir seems to be just constantly like obsessed with the Horsemen to a point where this has happened.
I mean, yes, but also we are currently traveling halfway across the world to hunt them, so
I mean, I'm not really.
can't exactly throw stones.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Granted, I did.
I can throw stones.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm not really. I haven't really done that.
I have a
since
spell
was
for that.
12. Okay.
One day you'll come to understand human idioms.
The thing is,
Humans are fairly smart, from what I can tell. They're not all idioms.
I'm just gonna sigh.
yeah. So, I mean, to be fair, I'm not here to really take on any more horsemen. If can be avoided, it's probably best for the time being.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's a chance we could fight against death and war and the other one. So, famine. Thank you. So the problem. So I'm just here to try to get Archibald back in Fenrir. See if we can figure out what the heck's going on. Like Fenrir should have at least talked to us at least about him going out, but he didn't. And if he did, there would have been a good chance that none of this would have happened. So I'm curious to know what he was trying to do. At least get some
He's
answers.
a very secretive person, if you haven't noticed.
Oh, I kind of got that after he showed me that he was Percy for so long.
Pacing.
Well, I mean,
Not
to be
Percy.
fair, he did have a
Different
purpose,
campaign.
but
It's
not.
the accent. Yeah, no, Percy. So what was that?
He did have a purpose for not showing who he was in that
Oh,
instance.
everyone has a purpose
Access.
on who they show themselves to. So at the moment, yeah, what is the plan? I guess teleport.
So
I think we wait for what's his face, Ankeg to get back,
Alright,
and
well-
then we find out if we do have the teleportation, and if we don't, we better get some frickin' fast camels.
yeah,
Camels.
It's a desert out there, man.
I keep forgetting them with all the snow.
hope to
He's
teleport.
got a point, actually. A horse may not do.
Oh, horse won't do. Yeah, camel.
Yeah.
Good
I've
job.
never ridden a camel before.
They're assholes.
Oh, you're in for a treat. They
Oh.
smell so bad.
Oh, great. That's good. Oh,
So-
great.
I hope to teleport to Grodalia.
That's why.
Look for, I suppose, news of like sightings around. It will be kind of awkward to narrow it down, but I guess that's the best we can do unless we get there and something's clearly going on.
I was hoping to, when I was introduced to the Umbral scanner per se, for where they teleported to, I was hoping to narrow down for the part where there is no Umbral connection, right? Like almost like going like an inverted GPS, if you will. So wherever there is no signal, that was the last place they could have been. It could have been pinpointing, but apparently it doesn't work like
It
that.
was-
They need to kind
Okay,
of. I think they need
well,
to work on that.
For your reference, it was essentially because you can't teleport outside of Umbral Connection,
Yeah.
and the way it works is basically there is a single highway. It's like a highway with no exits from
Yeah.
pretty much north of Yolm, over the ocean,
Yeah.
through where you are currently, to Grodalia.
You just described a bridge.
The idea being that everywhere else there is basically no exit anywhere in that stretch that they could have gone, and once they hit the split, there's no way of telling. So the idea is that they're pretty much in Grodalia,
Yeah.
based on the fact that they couldn't have exited really anywhere else, but you don't know.
The technology needs to be it's continually being worked on. So at some point it might actually get a bit better.
Wow.
I mean,
Shade.
you know, you see what you see, and you see a need necessary for improvement, and you know, that's just how it is. Anyway, so we just wait for now.
So the
well,
Umbral tracker,
Yes.
what exactly did it show you? Like, I've never seen it because I understand a fair bit about Umbral, but I don't claim to know everything, so I don't go looking for answers. But
yeah, was it tracking where they currently were, or just where that first
is it
teleport took
tracking
them
all
to?
three of them?
What I remember, it would track only. It only had 2 imprints. From what I
Right.
remember, and it was not that we have 100% confirmation that it is Archibald and Fenrir. In fact, we don't even have confirmation that it was the Horseman.
Well,
It made more sense to be the Horseman, but it was them.
I
that
would
they
pre-
mentioned.
Did
I
it
would
track
presume
anything
that
coming
one of them was
back?
the horseman.
Not that I know. No.
Would you like a refresher?
Yes, please. I'm pretty sure there was nothing about that.
All they know, so unless, and this is what you learned during this period of time,
Yeah.
is that unless they prepare to use the tracker with a specific person, they
Yes,
don't know what
right.
the imprint is. There were 2 imprints,
Yes.
which means 2 entities were teleported. They can't tell if it was War and his horse, or if it was Archibald and Fenrir, or War and Fenrir, or whoever. They don't know who it was
Archibald
because
and
they
War's
don't know.
horse.
They don't know what. It's just a string of numbers that is unique, essentially. It's just it's basically
they
a
know
string
it
of
was
numbers
2
that is
entities, but
unique.
they don't
They
know
can
which.
identify a person by it if they know prior that that's that
At the
person.
moment, what we gather, it's all really a guess that this could even be Archibald and Fenrir. It's but the fact that there was famine out there is a good indication that we're going the right way. Or we're just
Again, half a continent, but continue.
but half continent more than what we had before. So, you know, we're on some type of direction. I think it's the correct one, but that's just more or less speculation. As for the Umbral tracker, it's still temporary. It's a temporal thing. It's still got work on. So, it's fascinating when they show me, but it looks like they still got a long way to go with it.
I can tell you from experience that working with like raw Umbra, trying to create new technology, it can be both exciting
Oh, absolutely.
and freaking painful.
What happened to you? Was that the side effect with the app? Huh? Oh, yes.
Don't know how long I've got before I become completely steel
Is it actually
and
great?
not able to change back, but I guess I'll cross that bridge when it comes
You
to it.
fucking wrote a way out for his character.
No, I didn't. I mean, no, I didn't.
Oh, what I've had my experience with Umbral and technology, like Umbral technology, this is a new thing. So I was lucky to even have a look at it. So
I mean, having precise information on the exact city that they went to is still very helpful.
actually, what if you'll be able to? Where are we again? We're just in the tavern.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're currently just in the kind of the
Okay.
front room.
Could you guys come up into my room with me? So I'll take.
All right.
Over. There's no stairs.
No, we're not upset. Okay, it doesn't matter.
You're walking out the back through a courtyard.
Oh right,
I'll-
sorry. Yeah, this courtyard.
I'll keep a general feeling of the time because I want to be back in the room when an hour has passed.
Okay.
I go. I was like, okay. So you have a history with Umbral technology.
Yeah, fair bit.
Would you be able to decipher a little bit of information for me? See if you can.
What sort of information?
The Umbral tracker.
Uh,
And then I do encode thoughts and show everything I saw.
Make a history check.
Can I get advantage if he's helping me?
He
Assistance?
can't help you.
It's assisting me. Be like, oh, that's something there. And
Can't, no, this is for what you remember.
a couple of weeks ago, I remember that. He's a smart boy.
You don't have photographic memory.
Someday.
no, show him that he's wrong. Show him that you do have a photographic.
Roll an
memory.
actual 20 and I'll allow you to
Okay.
have a photographic. I made
That
I
was
made-
accidental.
That was accidental. Reroll.
Thank you. Oh, that's even worse.
Natural 20, Jason.
Yeah.
What? Yes.
14.
Haha. Excuse you.
Sorry, 15.
It's only a 13.
Excuse you. It is a 14.
Damn it.
I like to hold that as long as possible.
You encode thoughts and you make a relatively accurate rendition of what you saw.
Yeah. Got the
not
tower,
perfect.
people up there.
It's not perfect, but you
I'm
have...
showing like the memory of where like the actual the image of the track in there and like the data, and because if he's had an experience with this kind of technology, maybe he could pinpoint something on it.
Roll an Arcana check, Baramas.
Am I assisting him with this one, showing him it?
I mean, you've already extracted as much information from it as you can.
But it's technically.
I gotta tell you, man, I was a blacksmith. I wasn't an engineer.
I wish you didn't say that before.
I did work with Umbra, but not to this level. I don't actually know what you're showing me. I rolled a 0.
I wish you said that before. You don't just say these kind of things while we're talking about really high.
I did say that
technology. You said
before.
you worked with it. You didn't say what specifically. I assumed.
You said I was a
To do with
blacksmith
something with
and a
your
tinkerer,
ability.
and I said yes.
Well, that was that was actually kind of funny. We'll laugh at this someday. Till then, I'm just gonna say get out.
I leave with a 1,000-yard stare.
He hits the
What
wall.
just
Just thinking,
happened?
I don't even know what spell he just cast.
That's so fucking true.
That is fantastic. Holy crap. That's good.
And then I dropped my dice and it landed on a 20, and I'm like, fuck you guys. I'm having a good night.
From the crack Chimerian magic research team known as Unearthed Arcana.
I'm just gonna
Arcana unearthed.
walk on over, see if the bar's open yet.
A few like
The bar is
maybe.
not open.
We'll have to go back to that cafe that was serving beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
I'm
back.
gonna real quick go back to that cafe that was serving beer.
You go back to that cafe.
Sorry, cafe.
You go back to that cafe, and in the mid-morning light, now see that it is very much a bar, a very shady bar.
That's fine.
And
Not so much in the sun.
you purchase some alcohol.
I purchased some very strong alcohol.
You do so.
I shotgun it and then I go back.
Oh, God.
And another
4
thing.
silver.
That's expensive.
Pardon me.
Your apartment.
By the time you get back,
Yep.
Anka is already in there speaking with these three.
I just
Sorry,
I look
he,
at
he
him.
just broke me.
I see him come in. I'm just like,
Oh yeah, question. How strongly do you smell of alcohol?
No, that's too much. Not very.
No, not very. As you walk in, Varamas, he acknowledges your presence and then
My
says,
apologies for my tardiness. My teammate here just broke me, so I had to go deal with that, and now I'm back.
Sad. He's a tinkerer. He can fix himself.
I won't question it.
Please don't.
As I was just telling
I question so much.
your friends, I have good news. The teleport has been approved.
Oh, excellent.
However, you will need to be dropped outside the city and make your way in on foot.
That makes sense.
How far outside? Will it be
Oh, only a
just a short walk?
kilometer or so. It won't
Okay,
be very
that's
far.
perfectly fine.
That's-
Thank you.
Absolutely. May I ask though of the reason why not go in?
Going straight in provides some security risks to the city itself.
You gotta get through customs.
Essentially, yes.
Oh, fair enough.
There is a need
understandable.
for some safety to be put in place, and dropping you outside the city is the best option. If you walk in, they can consult you at the border, and it's a safer deal for everyone involved.
Okay. No, that's understandable.
Make sure you take those stones that you were given. They're very important. But if you're ready, you can follow me.
Let's go.
Yes.
He strides out the door, and as his armor glints in the sun, because I know you've been pointing this out, so I'm gonna keep fucking milking it. His armor blinds the fuck out of you. He
I'm gonna need like
strolls
glasses
out
at some
of
point.
the. He leads you out of the
Blinded.
town square, and north towards the boundaries of the town. You exit
I'm
via
gonna
a single
pu-
path.
Gonna pull my cloak on, as I am, like it's thin and it's like kind of like uncomfortable going over the top of my jacket, but I'm gonna wear it anyway because you know.
Okay. He leads you out via a single path that comes out of the town itself. To your east, you can see off to your right, on one corner of the town, are a large number of farms. To your west, there is nothing but sand and then coast. But ahead of you is a tower. One that you recognize immediately as a relay tower.
Ah,
It
beautiful.
leads you out towards it. Up inside, passing by the guards who let him pass without a word. Give him a quick salute and stand aside. Unfortunately, Hannah has to go. And takes you up to the second floor of the tower, where you find another half-orc standing there, who's currently in some very kind of flowy, not quite robes, but loose-fitting clothing, brightly white, almost white, a little bit of an off-white, which most people around here wear. But he is currently sitting just kind of laid back at a long desk, and in front of him is a teleportation circle.
Oh, beautiful.
This will get you where you need to go. You can step in all at once is the preferred method.
Mm-hmm.
We will activate it and we will send you to specific coordinates at the relay just outside of Grodalia.
Excellent.
I will warn you, I have seen you trading. Be aware. I know that you are familiar, based on your Orcish, with our customs. Are you aware of the currency system?
Roughly, assuming it hasn't changed since I left.
Well, it hasn't changed in quite a few years, so for the rest of you, be aware that gold won't get you anywhere. You'll be able to exchange it, but you'll be needing to use Grodals. They won't accept anything else.
Sorry, what?
Grodals.
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 What
Grodals.
accent did I just do? They're Grodals, man.
The Grodals, yes.
Yeah.
Grodals.
So when you get there, make sure you find a place to exchange your coins, or else you won't get far with trading.
Okay.
And of course, don't do anything stupid. I think that goes without saying.
Oh, yes.
Feel free to step inside the circle.
I'll step in.
I'll step in as well.
Okay. As you do so, as you all step in,
Sariel doesn't, though. She hasn't said it.
including Sulfur and Sariel, the other half-orc standing there starts to cast a spell. You see the runes on the ground light up, and you enter the
Inflamed.
umbral plane and start
Umbral
shooting through
Plane.
the umbral network.
Interesting. He just said something.
A
he
minute
shouldn't
or so later, it was a long way. A
don't know.
minute or so later, based
I don't know how
on
to
your
read.
own estimate, you are suddenly reapparated in another similar-looking tower, or similar-looking room, I should say, with another person standing, an orcish woman, waiting for you.
Hello.
Hello there. I take it you are the group that is seeking entry into Grodalia?
That'd be us.
Yes, yeah.
Indeed.
Well, if you will, head down those stairs and out the front, and you'll know it when you see it.
I'll head down the stairs.
We go out the front.
Okay.
And I assume I see things.
I know.
You do.
I'm sorry.
Sales stairs.
As you exit the tower, the two guards either side of the door let you out, and as you turn to your left, you see Grodalia sprawled out ahead of you. You are, as was described, about a kilometre away from the city, and between you and the city are a number of very green pastures with all manner of things. The first thing you notice in the sky are what appear to be people riding large, legless, dragon-like beings
What?
that seem, as you watch, and you're used to this, they seem to be herding large ground-based creatures,
Okay.
and even in a couple cases, water-based creatures, as you see a small bay off in one direction. One pasture seems to contain huge, multi-headed creatures that most of you have never seen before. Another one is full of aurochs.
Little.
You have seen aurochs before, but never tamed,
Okay.
or at least never.
Not swooping down
Kept.
to steal like sheep.
You see another pasture with what look like panther-like creatures running around as these quote-unquote dragon riders swoop down in their herding motions, and these panther-like creatures, very large because you can see them from this distance, are bounding across the paddocks towards certain areas that they are being pushed towards. Grodalia, as you know, is a place, a titan in agricultural industries, but also in livestock.
Okay.
You've heard about it, Silkus, in the past, about how Thacaratha, specifically Grodalia, farm exotic creatures, but you've never realized the scale of it as you look ahead and see Hydra being farmed. You see displacer beasts being farmed in these enormous pastures with fences that soar up into the air in some of these cases, and as well as umbral force fields in areas where there might be flying creatures or climbing creatures. The number of pastures is insane. You see them stretch all the way out and around the city off to a point that you can no longer see them. The city itself isn't particularly tall. It doesn't tower into the air or anything. It's very short buildings for the most part. But the spectacle is the pastures and the livestock.
Good day. I didn't realize how much I missed you.
This is past my expectations. Wow.
Oh,
This
what?
is really
You're
nice.
expecting a dinky little town?
Ah.
Come on, let's get going.
Okay.
Oh.
As you step forward and begin your journey towards Grodalia
Quick
to enter.
No. It starts auto saving.
Yeah, exactly. That is where we're going to end the session.
We autosave when we ended. Fuck. I'm gonna always save and just crash
Yeah,
every time.
no, it's always the worst time.
We
Right
just
before you get killed.
we just saved and quit the title. That's all.
Yeah, perfect. Good.
So if you
I'm
get in
glad you
Grodalia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, fuck. Okay.
You saw a lot in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember most of it, but it's fantastic. I gotta remember everything.
Hope you all enjoyed.
Fucking
Yeah.
hydras.
Hope everyone watching along enjoyed this session. We'll be back next time. Feel free to follow us here on Twitch. If you have enjoyed, you'll catch us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, whether that happens to be daylight savings or standard.
Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time at
Yeah.
the moment.
Exactly right. You can also catch our VODs on YouTube at our YouTube link in the panels below or in the chat over there. That reminds me. We somehow have lost the VOD for episode 21, I think.
You did what?
So it's gone. I don't know where, I don't know how,
Was that the
but
good
it's
one?
gone.
That's the one Archibald disappeared in.
No, it's on before.
Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure that was the one, actually.
No, I think it's the one before.
No, I'm pretty sure it's the one.
Yeah, okay, it might be the one. Regardless,
Actually, I
we
haven't
are
heard it.
going to make a recap video of that and upload it in its place.
Is
So you can
this-
look forward to that in the next little while.
Yeah, that's 24 then, I guess.
But head over to our YouTube for all the VODs going forward, as well as joining us on Twitter at
We
our
have those things.
handles up there and below each particular bubble.
Yeah.
Where you will find updates for Maximum Attitude as well as our own personal lives. But thank you all so very much for watching. We will see you next time. Until then, Josh.
Yes, Glenn.
Take it sleazy.
Oh my
But mostly easy.
God.